and later added that the West is plagued now by a variety of perversions and immoral behaviors. Curiously enough, many of his previous appearances were focused on Poland and its alleged plans to capture parts of Ukraine. Apparently, even he must have grown exhausted with that particular Kremlin talking point. Speaking at the Moscow Conference on International Security, Naryshkin stressed that man was created in the image of God, and meanwhile, in the West, people are trying to supplant God using all sorts of biomechanoids and transpersons. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to establish what these biomechanoids he spoke of.
Здоровому в духовном и физическом отношении человеку на самом деле неприятно, а порой даже страшно приезжать в Европу. Такое количество разного рода извращений там расплодилось.
But the thing is that Naryshkin does not seem to mind these biomechanoids or transpersons when he wants to send his family vacationing in Europe or his wife for luxury shopping sprees in the West. Back in April, his wife was seen riding in a car from the Russian embassy worth a cool $100,000. His daughter, meanwhile, spent the summer in Greece and Italy. While last year she was spotted in Turkey, a NATO country, and Naryshkin is just another in Russia's gallery of highly paid clowns who will say whatever their patron wishes in exchange for a fat wad of cash. In another ridiculous scene from the Moscow conference, Sergei Shoigu, mockingly nicknamed Shaman in some circles, had to swallow quite the public humiliation after he was presented with the latest allegedly AI-enhanced robot created by Russian scientists. Unfortunately, the technical marvel soon proved to be nothing else than a glorified speaker for pre-recorded lines. Embarrassed Shoigu tried to engage in some sort of interaction with the alleged robot, but the machine kept repeating the same lines about how great the self-styled general is. See for yourselves.
Товарищ министр обороны Российской Федерации. Я интеллектуальный помощник военного образования, робот Алеша. С моим старшим братом вы уже знакомы. Его создали 2 года назад в России. На предыдущих форумах он показывал, как мы обучаем суворовцев. На этом форуме я буду знакомить гостей с экспозицией, а после его завершения буду обучать воспитанников в Иркутском Суворовском военном училище.
According to Bloomberg, the Russian currency has reached a psychological red line of 100 rubles for $1 for the first time since March 2022, the first weeks of the war in Ukraine. The weakening ruble was debated on Russian state TV by Kremlin propagandists, with one saying that it's hard to imagine how dependent Russia actually is on the dollar. Solovyov, meanwhile, channeled his rage into an attack on Mercedes-Benz. If the red-nosed Vladimir is railing against the automaker, you can be sure that he has at least one of those in his garage. It's neither him or his kids, widely known for their fondness for luxury and opulence.
Mercedes-Benz сказал дилерам, что все отключает все российские автомобили от обслуживания. Но это значит что? Это значит, они продали товар, а теперь он стал опасен. Где коллективный иск этой компании? Где коллективный иск, направленный против Mercedes-Benz с требованием, чтобы они выкупили назад все машины, которые продали России? Потому что теперь управление этими автомобилями потенциально опасно. Почему мы этого не делаем? Почему не защищаем права российских граждан? Почему мы не разорим эту нацистскую сволочь, которая возглавляет концерн? Это что такое? Они решили, деньги они получали, сейчас они ушли из России с правом выкупа своих заводов, и теперь говорят, а кстати, мы отключаем все от обновления и все прочее. То есть что, типа россияне, это как? В какой стране это возможно? Где гигантские иски против этих сволочей? С арестом всех их собственности, если какая-то еще здесь осталась, с полным отказом им в праве выкупа.
The Russian Defense Ministry has released footage of the forced stop of the Turkish ship Sukru Okan, which was heading for the Ukrainian port of Izmail. The video posted by Anton Gerashenko showed armed Russian soldiers boarding the vessel and checking its paperwork at gunpoint. The Russians claimed that the cargo was then inspected for the presence of illicit arms transports.
Stop machine! Stop machine! Stop machine!
Stop it, Giant! Stop it, Giant! Keep calm and listen to me!
Okay.
Sit down, please
Sit
sit
down,
down!
please.
Please sit down. Keep calm and listen to me. What is the capital?
This is captain.
Speak English.
Yes, I am speaking English.
Yes. Good day, sir. I'm Russian Navy officer. My action will be recorded on the video. Please don't shoot my group on video. My question is very why stop and jam and long time over? Chief engineer and oiler going to deck. On the deck? Yes. Why? No, engineer, chief engineer and oiler. No. Why? Why? You don't stop in jam. And after long time, yes, I say you stop and jam. If radio, I say you stop and jam. You don't stop and jam. Why? Chief engineer, you that understand. Thank you. You good day, sir. I thank you crew to stay and play essential. My boat lives on board.
On the morning of August 13 in the southwestern part of the Black Sea, the Russian Navy stopped the civilian cargo ship Sukhru-Okan. Sailing under the flag of Palau as it headed for the Ukrainian port of Izmail, the Russian vessel Vasily Bekov allegedly called on the Sukhru-Okan to stop for inspection regarding the transport of banned cargo. But the ship's captain did not respond. The Russians then reportedly fired shots across the bow of the cargo ship and sent a boarding party in a helicopter. The Russian Ministry of Defense said that following the inspection, the ship was allowed to head for the Izmail. All the fuss with the stop and search was nothing else than a demonstration of power. Russia seems to be trying to raise the stakes in the Black Sea before Putin's alleged coming visit to Turkey. And now let's talk a little about how propaganda has infiltrated even the churches in Russia to better reach and mold believer community. Let's hear from a woman belonging to the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate, speaking on camera in downtown Kyiv. The video comes courtesy of the Warsaw Telegram channel.
Сказать, что Россия напала. Почему они требуют церковь? Почему по политическим этим... Я знаю, что у меня СБУ уничтожит великие, я знаю. Потому что они таких не любят. Тут учат любви друг другу, помогать друг другу, пониманием, Евангелие. Но не о войне. Я ни одного не слышала, что вы идите там, берите оружие, воюете. Почему синагога молчит? Почему? Почему раввин не скажет? Объявить, что Россия напала. Конечно, чужими руками, извините, все можно взять. Кидают двои евреям мальчика. Да, они славяне сами друг друга перебьют. Чужими руками. Мы убиваем друг друга. Что там, что тут. Украина – это экспериментальная страна. Эксперимент. Одними всеми руководит иудейская корпорация. Почему в войну ни по одной синагоге, ни по одному кагалу не попало? О! Почему? Если Россия стреляла бы, она все бомбила. И Когалы бы все. Это договорняк. Это натовский договорняк, который пошел.
Ukraine is just an experiment. Do we hear that right? Well, it's impressive that people actually believe something this far out there. If you still don't believe us when we say that the Ukrainian branch of the Russian Orthodox Church is an arm of the Russian propaganda apparatus, let's walk through some facts together. Back in 2014, Crimean dioceses of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate transferred to the Russian Orthodox Church, and they still collaborate with Russian army on the peninsula. In other regions of Ukraine, activists of this church have come out in support of the occupation of the peninsula and military action in and against Ukraine. There have been instances of clergy from the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate cooperating with Russian security services, collecting and transmitting important information, and even correcting incoming Russian fire. Many of them still hold Russian passports.
Hey, yo.
And in August 2022, a UOC clergyman even blessed the captured occupiers in the most historic Eastern Orthodox monastery in Kyiv. Is that enough to realize how wide-ranging Russia's plan for occupying all sphere of life in Ukraine
Sorry for
is?
the jump scare.
And with that, we conclude this edition of
I'm
Break
very
the
sleepy.
Plate. But for more news,
I am
updates, and
very
commentary,
sleepy.
Please stay tuned to TVP World.
how good is this? I'm very, very, very sleepy. I've slept no hours, and then I had to work in the store. I actually had to work. My dude. We were actually busy today, and I was carrying a lot of heavy shit around. I went to start the stream, and I noticed myself. You know when you like doze off? It's like you're here, and then it's like, huh. So yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing fucking great. I don't even have a free day this weekend anymore. I had a free day on Tuesday and then Wednesday, so I have to work until next Sunday without a free day. So yeah. Good luck to me. I know. But how are you guys doing? What's new? What is this? Oh, I haven't seen this. Oh, what was that one? No, okay. You can stay here. What was that one? I saw a preview of one and I don't know what it was. It was, oh, they have another one. It's Tuva and it's also Komi people. Oh, ho, ho. Ukrainians trying to break Russia apart. Nice. Based. Crunch of capitalism. I know, right? Ain't that, bro, it fucking sucks. This thing fucking sucks. I need you to figure out a way to find a non-job to exist with, because this ain't gonna work. This is not going to work. I actually went back to translating yesterday. I did some translations again. So man, I'm hoping I can somehow force that into something nice, so I can be like chilling on work without having to fear whether or not my contract is going to get prolonged. Is it prolonged? Refreshed? I don't know. Started all over again. It just sucks being alive. Sometimes it sucks being alive. Sometimes I look at that subreddit. What was the subreddit? The one where they were crying about how much they don't like working. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, little idiot tiny babies. What losers? But then sometimes I look at them and I'm like, me, just me, absolutely me. I too wish I could dog walk for a living, you know. I too sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I could write stories for a living or like draw some bullshit. I wish that was possible. Hey, I saved a bunch of links. These are the Discord links. This one specifically, because I've seen this on Discord only. I haven't even fact-checked it. I literally just saved it and went, yeah. So now I have to go and check it. Now I have to go and actually see what's happening. K-pop dances? The thing is, I don't know a single K-pop dance. I used to know... I'm gonna show you the video, not me dancing, because I haven't danced it in 10 years and I don't know it anymore. But there used to be a song. It's called Lucifer. By Shiny. Fuck, I don't see a single part of my screen because of this huge ass juice. And then I can't type properly. I'm gonna move it to the side. Okay, so listen, okay? How you get into K-pop? You get into K-pop with this song. It's Shiny Lucifer. There's a dance in it. I knew it. I knew every second of this thing. Where's the chorus? This one. This part. 2013, my man. This thing. Oh man, I remember, like, was it elementary school? I think it was like ending of elementary school. Yeah, this was a huge thing in 2013. Especially, well, you can't hear it. Are you sad about it or happy? 2013, huge trend in Serbia, because one Serbian pop star stole this song. She basically stole parts of the song and then made it into a Serbian song, and someone figured it out and was posting it around. And then me and my friends at the time, very into not liking Serbs too much, we were like, look at this bitch, so stupid of her to steal songs from Koreans. And then we just started listening to them. It's kind of sad watching this now, though. Like this, SHINee used to be the biggest boy band of their time. The one... Not you, not you. Him. Jonghyun. Jonghyun was the king. Jonghyun was the king. When I got out of K-pop, I used to be just following Jonghyun. I was only following this man, I was following IU, and I was following BTS. Nothing else. And he was battling depression until 2018. So, yeah, just one of the most amazing artists they had. He was actually writing really, really fucking good songs. Genuinely amazing lyrics. Very often about battling depression, but really, really good lyrics. Just sometimes I feel very sad that they got kinda, I wanna say, really into Western trends, and they make a lot of English songs right now, and they try to reach like the English charts. So it's not as fun to listen to them anymore because they don't have as many hard-hitting lyrics as they used to be. But K-pop era was amazing. Hey, though, I clicked on this dude. SHINee? Nah, they have a thing. Actually, I don't know if they do date each other. They might. Who the fuck knows? Now that I think about it. I wanted to be like, nah, I doubt it, because it's like a bunch of dudes who have to live together from a very, very early age. I guess any sort of like dating capabilities. Do you want to date people that you're that close with? But also, like, maybe, I don't know. It's always a possibility, I guess, because they have it. This is like the time when they had really, really weird structure of the industry. So you would have to apply to be an idol very, very early in your life, and then you would go through hours and hours of training every single fucking day, and you would be sleeping in like very shit conditions until your group made enough cash money to actually be moving into proper apartments and stuff. I guess that actually speaks to the idea of them dating each other. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. Hey, yo, Cygnus, how's life going? Pro-Ukrainian Republicans, by the way, Republicans? Ruskies and proper humans. Whoa. Don Bacon, a staunch Ukraine supporter and McCarthy ally, told us Thursday he wants to give Kyiv more military aid, but only if the final deal includes a guarantee that advanced weapons like the long-range army tactical missile system will make it to the battlefield. Without that assurance, he sees no point in further depleting US stocks and spending more money to help Ukraine at a fighting stalemate with Russia. Why keep giving Ukraine weapons that don't help them win the war? The House Armed Service Committee member said during our interview. I don't want to give more for a gridlock. I see it. Are we hoping that they're going to actually send them? What's the possibility of that? But like a proper American doesn't really. What do you mean like a proper American? Do you think people in other countries care? Like, bro, I work retail, okay, every single day. I ask 20 different people, hey, how's life going? How's family? I think I give a shit about their families now. And ironically, I give more shit about like you people and your families than I do about IRL people. But even here, I mostly just ask, hey, guys, how's life going? And you just go, good. You always go good. Why is it never going badly? Okay. What is, listen. In 50 words or less, explain to me the most dramatic thing going on in your life right now. Let's go. I want an essay. I want proper like sentence structure and everything. I want a little writing assignment. Let's go. Come on. That's the problem. No, I just wanted to say it's not like an American thing. You think I cared before? No one cares about the male condition in America. I care. If they were able to talk about it genuinely, I would care. They're just not. Americans are fucking weird. Have you seen them glorifying Hinkle dude? Jason? Is his name Jason? I wanted to say Jackson, and I was like, nah, he's not Jackson. But they're glorifying the Hinkle dude right now. And I just saw like millions of people posting about the fact that his girlfriend is an escort. I don't know if she used to be an escort or if she is an escort right now, but basically at some point you could pay Hinkle's girlfriend to lick your balls in Dubai. So I don't know how that makes you feel. It makes me feel kind of good. My taxes are being given to Nazis in Eastern Europe. Oh, you're one of those people. Great. Great. I always wanted to have low effort trolls around in chat. It's a dream made true. Hope you're fulfilling your life's purpose of wasting chat space. See, if that message wasn't up there in chat, that useless stupid little troll message of yours, I could actually be reading about Slippers' balls and ass drowning in sweat. And I would like that a lot more than some dumbass baiting bullshit. Pay more, chop chop. Give us all the taxes. I support taxes specifically to Ukraine. I support them being like, I don't know, I want to say 15% of your wage, okay? Every single person in the world, 15% of your wage should go straight to Ukraine. No questions asked. Who are the Nazis in Europe? You give money to? Maybe he's talking about paying for resources to Russians. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's actually based and we don't even know it. My man's like, yeah, I'm so bored of my tax money going to Nazis. Why don't we get a better source of gas? Why don't we start using renewables? Dude, yeah, same. I fucking understand ya. Why don't we get a better source? Why didn't we get a better source? We should have been using renewables for years at this point, not to fund the Russian war machine. You're fucking true. Taxation of Russians. I support the taxation of next, I want to say 4 generations of them. But sometimes it reaches like 7. I think as long as every single Russian alive right now is living, they should be taxed to help Ukraine rebuild after the bullshit that they have started. Yeah, genuinely. Like, bro, I'm just angry. I'm being very, very angry lately. Russian supporters, thanks. For every pro-Russian statement. Hey, it actually reminds me of Destiny. Have you guys seen Destiny on Twitter recently? Because he's going wild. But he had this opinion. Yeah, not supporting Russia or Ukraine is also a stupid position. That's also a stupid position. There's only one correct position to take when one country is waging an unjustified genocidal war against the other country by invading their territory and attempting to annex their land. And the position is to support Ukraine. There's no other position. Any other position you take right now is bullshit. That's it. All of these like, hey, I don't know, hey, both sides better. Stupid. Stupid little person. But Destiny on Twitter, my man's going wild. And he basically made a claim recently that he's getting pissed off by conspiracy theorists, right? He has the idea that whenever they make a prediction, they should be forced to bet on it. So whenever they say, like, for example, you know, oh, BRICS is going to get stronger this year and the West is going to crumble, they need to put actual cash money to it. So if their prediction doesn't come true, they need to actually, you know, pay this cash. So they will be losing a part of their income. And that's going to make a lot of them shut the fuck up because they're making really stupid predictions these days, okay? And I was like, yeah, okay, fair. Fucking fair. You could preach neither party shouldn't participate. But that plays under the assumption that Russia didn't invade Ukraine. Yeah, it's like, oh, if I imagine a completely different world than ours, then I would be supporting completely different things than I support now. I can see that. I can see that. Can't hear you paying the taxes. It's a ting bit. Hey, bros, you can donate for Ukrainian snipers right now, by the way. You can donate for Ukrainian snipers, so go do that. Go do that. Go do that. Well, let me show you the post. Oh, where is the post? Who the fuck knows? I'm gonna find it. Okay, I'm gonna find it. I posted the screenshot of doing a little bit donation, and now I need to find. Oh fuck! I found it. I already saw it. Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! I gave some little bit catch money. I gave some little bit catch money for this. How cool is this? You can buy ponchos for snipers. You can buy ponchos for Ukrainian snipers. So they're basically making them invisible to thermal scopes of Russians. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go and donate. Go and fucking donate. You're already donating to Terra or Based. I'm donating to the poor. Zigas, is it Zigas poor? I'm donating to them. I'm hoping to donate to the what was the one? I donated yesterday, but I want to do it again, and I want to make a screenshot of the one Thompson was showing on his stream for the drones, and you can get that leather jacket in it. I want to do more donations there. I want to get to the fucking thing, okay? Twitch. Fuck my stupid little thingy. Okay, fair. What specifically do you think is NATO propaganda here? Send it directly to Zelensky. I wish I could. Shit, yeah, we should do that. Like if I win the jacket, I wanted to go straight to Zelensky. Can I do that? Can I just be like contact Zelensky instead? That would be fucking great. That would be fucking great, my dude. Oh, this. Man, fucking Guardian. Oh, they weird me out. They weird me out. He paid a $5,000 bribe to escape a potential draft into Ukrainian army and service on the front lines in the war with Russia. Man, these types of things are so weird to me. The articles themselves, it's like, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to do? They're just defending now. Do you not know what's the definition of victory? In order for them to have won, they should have fulfilled their goals, and the war would have been done. If a war is still lasting, there's not a victor. That's not how wars work. That makes no sense to say. You can't say one side achieved a victory if the war is still ongoing. I don't care what US intelligence thinks, my dude. US intelligence thought that this war is gonna be done in 3 days. US intelligence, first, they fell for the 3-day bullshit. Then they fell for the idea that Ukraine is gonna attempt negotiations. Who the fuck cares about USA intelligence? My dude, they're good for like planning operations and stuff like that and militarily means. But when it comes to them analyzing the situation on the ground, USA intelligence has been wrong plenty of times. Kinda cool that like you accuse me of gobbling down propaganda without thinking about it, and then you're like, you know what's my source for this? US intelligence. Now she has to believe me because of course she will. People just trust whatever they're told. If Russia takes over all of Ukraine, then this is Russian victory. If Ukraine gets all of its land back, as it was in 1991, then it is Ukrainian victory. I see that, yeah. 20%. Have you seen this? Oh, what is this? Oh shit, yeah, I just had it opened. Yeah. Based. I'm hoping it works. Fucking based. US should push Ukrainian President Zelensky to sign a peace deal. Bro, no chance in hell that shit is going to work. Pro-Ukrainian. Yeah, I don't. I don't know what you think is the worth of giving me a source. First of all, calling it pro-Ukrainian is laughable. Again, people thought that Russia's going to win in 3 days. Calling them pro-Ukrainian is laughable. But also, I don't know what makes you think I care about the opinions of US intelligence on this. Or about, like, you think I'm gonna be looking at USA intelligence saying shit and be like, oh yeah, damn, Ukraine already lost this war, damn. All along, if you go on Telegram right now, go to any mill bloggers, Russian mill bloggers channel, they're crying. They're weeping. My man. There's not a chance in hell that with the current situation on ground, you can claim Russia has already won. The most you could claim is that this is going to be a long, prolonged war, and we won't know who's going to win it. Something like that, yeah. If Ukraine loses, will you admit you were wrong? Wrong on what? Wrong on what? What specifically am I wrong on? What do you mean tasting? Tasting would mean like... No, wrong on what? What exactly am I wrong on? But Nicolette, we do. Hey Alexa, thank you for the sub, thank you. Wait, no, is this a good guy? But I guess it is his scum face. Look, he's... I don't even know who Kevin McCarthy is, but he's trying. Oh, I'm not. What usually happens is you get people like that, give them 5 minutes, they advocate for genocide. I don't know if single time in chat we've had a conversation with these types of people when they haven't advocated for genocide in few minutes only. Like, genuinely. You remember that one who said they're going to celebrate if Russia wins? That one stayed in my mind. They tried for like 5 minutes, they were pretending that they were just asking questions. And then they go, yes, when Russia wins this, I'm going to celebrate the fact that all pro-Ukrainian people will be crying. As if this is like some fucking ass video game shit or whatever. How stupid, how vile of an opinion is it? To be like, hey, you know what, if Russia succeeds in their genocide of Ukrainians, I'm going to be happy because everyone who supported the Ukrainian fight against the invaders on the territory is going to be sad about it. How vile of a person. If you want the war to end, you would be supporting Ukraine. If you want the war to end, you would be supporting Ukraine. That's it. Nothing else here. No, it isn't. No, it isn't, because in any sort of a way, appeasement to Russia is going to cause more of their invasions in the future. The same way that appeasing Russia in 2014 caused the current full-scale invasion. Appeasing Russia in 2008 caused the 2014 invasion. Appeasing Russia in 1990s, when they butchered Chechens, caused the 2008 invasion. Every single time we bent over and sucked some Russian cock, they started planning a new invasion. If you do it now, they will start a new invasion later too. I've never said you must want Russia to be nuked into disintegration. I don't care what happens with Russia. I don't want us to play any part in their disintegration. If Russians want to break apart their country, they can do that. It should be their choice. If Russians want to keep the country standing as one unity, they can do that. It should be their choice. All I want is to kick them out of Ukraine. After we kick them out of Ukraine and accept Ukraine into NATO so it can be safe, I don't give a shit what happens to Russia. And I don't think we should play a single part in it. But yeah, arguing for appeasement is just an incredibly stupid opinion. There's no chance for you to be anti-war and to be supportive of appeasing the side that started the invasion. You can't be anti-war and willing to suck off the aggressor. Hey yo, DB, First thing broadcast, so the whole shop is about sucking Russian cock. Ah, who they have in the shop? want me to be talking about cocks more? The relocated, jailed, torture code. Yeah, that too. Are you glad you went live? I'm always like happy existing around people in stream form. I feel that there's... Oh, which knowledge of history do you think would change our opinions on this? I feel... Wait, I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, I feel I use streaming as a way to have a healthy social life, unironically, and I don't know if that's smart or not. Because this is like interaction with people, but it isn't interaction with people. He goes knowledge of history. Watching now, what's he gonna do? Okay, let's try, guys. Do a hit list, okay? We need to make a bingo. Dude, wait. Shut the fuck up. Don't be writing anything until we open the bingo. We need to make a fucking bingo card. Why did Russia invade Ukraine? Because Putin wants to stay in power. Putin wants to stay in power, and he's aware that the way for him to get more support and to keep constant support from the people in Russia is to go and play into their imperialist mindset. He got into power by playing into their imperialist mindset. He stayed in power by playing into their imperialist mindset. When he butchered Chechens, that's what he was doing. When he butchered Georgians, that's what he was doing. When he invaded Crimea, when he invaded Eastern Ukraine, that's what he was doing. No, it's not because Putin bad man. No. It's because Russia relies on their regime to keep constant. It's very similar to, you know how Yugoslavia was only existing because we had Tito? You know how Yugoslavia, like when Tito died, Yugoslavia crumbled because the only way for us to exist was to be under him? In a very similar way, Russia exists because they have Putin. Russia exists because Putin is leading it right now. If Putin wasn't around, if his regime crumbled, regions of Russia would have more ability to separate from the shithole. Hassan's pro-Ukraine? No, Hassan's pro-bullshit. Hassan has no idea what he's saying. Hassan is one of those people who are American in their soul, but he pretends to have some sort of knowledge about European politics given to him somehow magically by his genes, so he dares to comment on it in very, very stupid ways. Very, very, very often. Hassan legit said that Russian invasion of Crimea was justified. There's no. Hassan's pro-Hassan. Okay, that's the only thing here. Hassan is pro-Hassan. Hassan likes jerking off over the idea of how smart he is. Nothing else. You remember that clip of his where he talked about dogfights? Oh man, always remember that one where he was like, oh yeah, well, Greece and Turkey are having dogfights regularly. You don't know who's going to be defeated, though. That makes no sense. You can't be making these types of predictions. There's no chance for you to know which side is going to be winning right now. Like, you're looking at a war where one side is having explosions in their capital city regularly. Okay? Because, like, Patriots are working. Kiev has been doing well. How's Moscow doing, bitch? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen some news about Moscow. How's Moscow doing? There's no chance for you to be making these types of predictions. But then also, like, I don't know what makes you think that making predictions like this has any sort of bearing on how fucked up your moral values are if you don't support the country victim of an invasion. Know what it is? Like, if you support the invader, if you try to put the invader on the same page as the one getting invaded, you're already morally fucked up. I don't feel doing this because you think Ukraine is gonna lose makes it any more of a moral decision. If Ukraine loses this war, which, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, making predictions is stupid. We should have learned this from the first day of the war, okay? But if you make predictions on this war, that is not adding to the fact that Ukraine is a victim of an unjustified imperialist invasion by Russia. Russia is attempting genocide. Russia is ethnically cleansing the areas it occupies. We know this is happening. If Ukraine loses this war, if we were to be living in the worst possible timeline and Ukraine loses this war, that's going to be tragic. That is not going to be meaning that we were wrong about the fact that Russian invasion is unjustified. If Ukraine loses this war, the fact still stands that Russia has committed an unjustified aggression against its neighbor. If Ukraine loses this war, that doesn't change the fact that Russia has been ethnically cleansing regions. If Ukraine loses this war, I'm still correct on everything I'm fucking saying, which is why you can't even pinpoint what I'm supposed to be wrong about, because I'm wrong on nothing. The only correct position is to be supporting Ukraine. The only correct position is to acknowledge that Russian aggression is unjustified and must be condemned. It must be condemned if Ukraine loses. It will be condemned if Ukraine wins. It must be condemned no matter what the outcome of this is. Because appeasing a country, invading its neighbor, is definitely going to lead to mentioned country invading more neighbors, which is something we should have learned previously, considering the fact that we again kept on sucking off Russians after they did invasions onto their neighbors. You're not stating any facts, you're just making stupid predictions. If you were stating facts, I would be responding to facts, but you didn't state any. All this equipment is paid long ago by taxes of parents? Okay, yeah, that's true. It's much cheaper to send all the equipment to Ukraine than to dismantle. Yeah, and also like it's going to be making cash money for USA too. So Russia doesn't know which territory it wants to liberate. That's making no sense. Russia doesn't know which territory it wants to liberate. It makes no sense. Oh yeah, wait, I need to. Yeah. Oh damn, it allows NATO whore, it doesn't allow Russian whore. That is fucking ridiculous. No, Russia said that they want to go to Kiev. When they started, Russia said they want to take down the government in Kiev. Then Russia said that they want to take Zaporizhia and Kherson. They have said it. Their own propagandists have said it. Bro, they literally sent troops to Kiev. Russians wanted to capture Kiev. This is laughable. You are rewriting history. You are rewriting the entirety of history with this. Wait, who has the link to that compilation? I have a link to that compilation of Russians saying that they're gonna take Kiev in 3 days. Like, do you think they sent the fancy troops? Fuck, I can't remember the names. But do you think they sent them to Kiev to just like die? Do you think there was a plan? Do you think they wanted to do that? I found the compilation. The plan worked. Which plan? To take Kiev? It didn't work. They didn't take it. No, it wasn't about the East. You're attempting to rewrite the entirety of the conversation. They didn't take East. Even like then, what do you think the East is? Define East to me. Which oblasts did Russians want to take? Like, give me the specific names. Because at first it was, we're gonna take Kiev. And then it was, okay, we're not gonna take Kiev. We're gonna take these 4 oblasts, which is why we are also conducting referendums in these oblasts. And then that also didn't work because Ukraine managed to liberate 2 of them. And right now, what they're trying to do is controlling Donetsk and Luhansk, which when it comes to Luhansk, they do have almost the entirety of it. When it comes to Donetsk, Russians never controlled the entire oblast. It was never theirs. It wasn't theirs since 2014. It wasn't theirs in 2022. It is not theirs now. They don't have, not even to mention, you just answered your own question. How did I? I've told you about their failed goals. I've told you about stuff they claimed were their goals, which failed. If I answered my own questions, that means I was the correct one. But yeah, this one. No, Russia doesn't control Donbass. Donbass isn't even a thing, my dude. What do you think Donbass is? Donbass isn't even a thing. Donbass has no defined borders. No, Russia doesn't control Donbass. Russia wanted to control Donetsk and Luhansk, the 2 regions of Ukraine. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. It didn't do that in 2014. It didn't do that in 2022. It doesn't do that now. Okay? Like, your theories are fucking stupid. Go and look at the map. Go and look at the map. But yeah, look, more important thing, okay? Fucking Lukashenko. My favorite thing about the compilation. I know, right? Skabajeva too. And their fucking equipment failing. Man. Russians didn't want to take Kiev. Bullshit. They wanted. They failed. They failed as they deserved to fucking fail. Okay, every single casualty suffered by Russia is deserved. And it feels beautiful. It's just gorgeous. But hey, yo. We wanna go watch Arthur for some actually smart opinions? Because you see the thing behind him, you see the events happening behind him.
Tonight at 4 a.m. in the morning, Ukrainian drones reached Moscow once again. We're talking about a few drones, less than 5. Moscow air defense was active, and the Russian Minister of Defense claims that the Moscow air defense shot down all of the drones, and the damage was done by falling debris. Drones explode, the fireball falls down.
Yeah, I don't even know. He's silent now. I guess he went to Google Geography.
Or see the drones or hear the bangs.
So personally, I don't care about him too much. If you wanna mock him, feel free to. Maybe he gives us some new points. Critical lack of mods? No, I'm anti-mod. I'm an anarchist.
The fact is that Moscow is such a big of a metropole. It's a huge city. The military targets there are so numerous that it would take a lot of time to take them out. So I think.
Can I point out to you that Scott Efron in his chat today has said, I looked at both the Western media, Ukraine and Russia, and found the truth.
These drone attacks are more to send the presence of war to the Muscovites, to the Moscow people, so they would see these drones and they would see the Moscow air defense active.
Too much pressure.
Hear those bangs, and to make it harder for the Moscow residents to ignore this war. One of the drones hit the expo
Truth is that Russians can get fucked in the ass.
Report from the Russian leading propagandist Solovyev. I'll read it to you. This is what Solovyev writes on Instagram. Explosions in Moscow and Moscow region. The enemy is attacking the
Panic.
capital of Russia. Residents of Moscow and the region massively report the war
Lux, thank
of
you for
explosions.
gifting a sub.
They thunder in the area of Krasnogorsk,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
and near Moscow City. Moscow City is an area in Moscow. Enemy drones are again trying to attack our facilities. He puts it quite poetically, the war
No,
of
the strikes are
drones.
never available
Also,
to
another
non-VIP. Why are you
huge
not a
thing that
VIP?
These drones do is
I saw you were a
force
VIP.
all of
Why
the
are you not a
planes
VIP?
that are in the sky to remain in the sky, and all of the planes that have landed to remain on the ground. Basically, they stop the work of airports. For example, Vnukovo International Airport.
Damn,
in
you're
Moscow
actually not a VIP.
suspended all flights after the duration of the attack or unknown
I thought you were a
time. If
VIP.
these attacks are frequent, then people from Moscow cannot
Thank
fly
you, Lux.
around,
Thank you,
and
thank
they
you,
again
thank you.
suffer because of Russian attack on Ukraine. I
Yeah,
think
only
this
cool
is the
kids
goal
get a
of
VIP.
these
I'm sorry.
attacks in
I'm sorry, you
Moscow, to
loser.
make the Moscovites feel that Russia is in war, because one of Putin's role is to isolate the bigger cities from war. Most of the mobilized come from the rural areas, especially from the Far East, where the living quality is a lot lower and the wages are a lot lower. So what the Ministry of Defense offers these troops is a medium Moscow wage, which wouldn't send any Muscovite to war because it's nothing for them.
Slip was
but for
trying
the
to get
people living
striked.
in the Russian Far East, it's a whole
You can't
new
strike others, but they can strike you.
Perhaps we're used to thinking of Russia as one big backwards country, but actually Moscow being such a metropole, it has same kind of
Go
people that
Budano.
New York has or Los Angeles has. Big city people doing their work, being businessmen, businesswomen,
Yeah, trying to look
bloggers,
cool as cringe.
influencers,
Trying to look
exactly
cool as
the same.
cringe, my
So
dude.
here I want to illustrate this point and
Trying so
give
hard.
you the interview of one Moscow woman who comments what she feels about the drone attacks, which are regular now. Fine, let them
Germany
work.
arrowed 3
I'm not
defense
hurt.
systems for
I'm not
$3.5
threatening
billion.
them either. Adventure, adventure. Well, what can I do? It's not like I'm gonna boom
Holy
them away.
shit.
Our windows don't open. What is going on? Why are drones attacking a huge business quarter in Moscow? Young man, that's a provocative question. So people in Russia, of course, are used to labeling topics as provocative or dangerous because some of the topics
Hey,
are not
why are
to
our
be talked
asses
about
getting
because
bombed?
the state doesn't want them to be discussed. That is the
Provocative.
goal of the
You're not allowed to
Putin's
question
government,
it.
also to force some topics out of people's minds, and it's very effective, unfortunately, because this woman immediately recognizes this topic as dangerous. Don't
No, but
speak
like
about this
actually,
topic.
it reminds me. I saw a post on Twitter. Maybe I saved it. Maybe I'm gonna show it to you soon.
KTM demands the fancy diamond badge.
Kim!
100K.
Kim! Hey, yo, wait, I thought you have a sub. The sub. VIP. Do you not have a VIP? Oh, you do? Okay, you do. Holy shit, I was like, what? Kim is just trying to flex on you. How slippers, you fucking loser. You uncool kid. Hey, yo, slippers, thank you for giving me a sub. Thank you. You get a whip too. Oh. Wait, what did I want to see? I wanted to see what was the message there. And then I lost it. Beer purity. All gym and beer stays the same due to their beer purity laws. Ooh. Jim is talking about purity. Use one hat key to remove someone's vape. Yes! Oh shit, we do! Oh shit, we do! Now that whips are getting more power with like strikes and stuff. Yeah! Oh, that's true. That's very, very smart. That is very, very smart. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. It's, what's the word? It's gonna be like, Putin trying to cause chaos in USA, so he could be ruling over it. That's me trying to cause chaos in chat, so I can continue ruling over all of you. I'm gonna make you fight each other. It tastes salty. Dark liar. Yeah, well, basically. Basically, isn't it? You got diamond before. You got diamond before, but you were bitching in chat and you didn't notice it. I was like, cute. Kinda cute.
Quickly is what goes on in her head.
Doing the whole
That's
thing.
provocative. We cannot go there. I'll say something
Pick my
now,
sweaty
and
balls, he
tomorrow
goes.
they'll come from me. so I won't say anything. She knows how to exist in Russia. See, you need
Yeah,
this
fuck, I
kind of
forgot what I
defense
tried
mechanism.
to tell you, but like I saw a Twitter post. Listen to me. I saw a Twitter post and there was a girl in Moscow and she was going to the strike location, and at one point in the video she's like live streaming it and she goes, "Oh, I didn't know that the drones were hitting Moscow. I thought it was just a rumor." She legit didn't know they were being hit until she today walked to the newest strike scene and she was like, "Oh yeah, wait, there's actually drones coming to Moscow." Like they're so unwanting to speak of it that they just completely ignore what's going on. Oh yeah, talking about Slav, he sent me a link. Shitting on slippers day? I do like shitting on slippers. No, listen, he sent me a link today in our chat. And it's like a tiny URL thing, so I didn't dare to open it because I'm like, where does this lead to? And bitch, like just before the stream, he sent me another message and it says open the link or click on the link or something like that. Wait, I'm going to show it to you, okay? Because I don't want to misquote the man sending me weird links. Oh, this girl again, I blocked her. I blocked this account. This is the girl I talked to you about. I blocked this account. Why is she here? Does that make sense? Yeah, whenever I click on chatting, she's there. I swear to God I blocked her account. Is that a new account? It can't be. It has 438. Can you not get rid of accounts? Can you not like make them not appear? No, she's so annoying. She you get a preview. When you click on just chatting, you get a preview. And it's like the most uncomfortable ASMR you can imagine in your living. Genuinely. But look at the link. It just shows me wait, this. What is that? I saw Ru and I was like, I ain't touching this. I'm not coming close to this. But then he goes click the link and then I was like, How do you know I haven't clicked already? No, I'm not watching that. Yeah. At first I was like, maybe it's another History Legends video, you know? Because he sends History Legends. Where's History Legends? Here, see? He sends History Legends sometimes. And I was like, is this History Legends? And then I look at it and I'm like, oh. So see this link you've seen a while? Holy shit. Oh, I saw a Susie link yesterday. I saw a bad link yesterday. I was on URL scan. Oh, what is that? I clicked on it. It's kind of ironic that I'm being like, oh, I'm kind of scared of clicking on links, and then I just clicked on that one. If this turned off the entirety of the stream, it would have been the fault of me and my stupidity only. But I was on Twitter yesterday, and there was a dude in NAFO, and he has a Russophobia Telegram account, in which he actually has videos of like the worst things Russia has to offer. It is the worst. Just dude has videos of people harming themselves to not get into military. You know, shit like that. Weirdest things ever. It was like late in the evening. He's like, oh, here's my Russophobia Telegram. I'm like, what's Russophobia Telegram? Are we, you know, looking at drone footage or whatever? No, it's worse. It's much worse. Holy shit. And ever since that, I'm very scared of opening links. You know, I don't want to have an interaction with something very disturbing again. What is this though? Can I just... What do I do? Do I like just copy the URL and then I send it here? What does that do? Can you do the strikes? Oh, congratulations, Slippers! Your first strike! Your first strike! Bravo! 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 You're having that interaction every day in this chat. To be fair, that's true. People send me links sometimes and I'm like, is this gonna be porn? Or is it gonna be a Russian blowing up? One of these things Twitch would actually allow. Hey, by the way, we gotta watch Arthur.
in your head to exist in Russia, because otherwise you say the wrong thing and you will disappear. So that's it from this video, but it illustrates perfectly how people have managed to survive.
It's like you have two presents and both of them are good.
Talk about some topics. Now, my friends, I want to guide your attention to something that the Western analysts
Speaks on
don't really
videos
talk
directly.
about
You can't
much,
do that
which is
in
the
old chats.
peculiarity of the Russian mindset. When the war started, the Western analysts said that
Korean
Russian
dances?
economy
Really?
would collapse immediately.
K-pop?
That didn't happen. Russian economy proved a lot more resilient than analysts in the West thought.
I started watching a new...
Russian economy is not doing great, but
Oh,
it's
on Twitch. I thought it was like YouTube recommended. I thought I'm somehow infiltrating.
I remember the very first drone attack. It was a huge deal. And then it became more frequent, and analysts started saying that this, and myself actually, started saying that this will bring the Muscovites to the reality. They will see the horrible truth of war, and they have to suffer. They cannot fly anymore. They hear bangs and air defense every night. They cannot sleep. They will turn against Putin and against this war. But the truth is, according to questionnaires done in Moscow, people in Moscow are simply getting used to these attacks, and it does not affect their support for the special
Agenda is
operation or
boobs and
for
asses.
Putin. As in Ukraine, people have gotten used to the war.
Drop them in because actually make
now
that.
in Russia. And these
Not
attacks
even
against
sending them. He just
Moscow
like
have an effect,
walks
definitely.
all the way to my
It doesn't
house,
have an effect that the
and then he
Western
has a
analysts have
printout
predicted.
and puts it in my
A poll
mailbox.
conducted in August by Russian field showed that 46% of the Moscow residents...
Oh shit, Lux are getting smart. Okay, but yeah, true. You hate OnlyFans? Yeah, I've got similar feelings on it.
So 46% wouldn't say no to the operation.
Like on... Sorry, I wanna listen to Arthur when he speaks, and I can't listen to him if I'm thinking about OnlyFans, okay? But, like on one hand, I feel OnlyFans is a relatively okay thing because it's actually giving power to creators, right? So I'm GG on that, right? It's like, it's actually giving power to people who make this type of content, because usually they have to be under a firm, they have to be under a, an agent. And I've seen horrible stories about the way agents operate in the porn industry. Just horrible fucking stories. I used to be... There's a part of TikTok specifically. There's one girl, she was really, really popular for a while. She was starting a court case. I haven't been on TikTok in months. I don't know how it's going. But she was starting a court case against one of her agents for not giving her cash money. And she was talking about the experiences in the industry, and it's fucking horrible, dude. It is just fucking horrible. Especially if you're a newcomer in the industry, and most of the girls that you see in porn videos, they are newcomers in the industry. Most of them are girls who just joined. They do a couple of videos and then they leave because the industry is horrible. But it tries to use you as much as they can in a way for these first few videos, right? So it's just absolutely ridiculous. She specifically mentioned that when she was getting into the job, she had a contract to write. And in the contract, you basically say what sort of things you are comfortable with, what sort of things you are not comfortable with, what sort of scenes you are okay with doing, what sort of scenes you are not okay with doing. Anything basically that you feel the producer should know before filming with you. And she read specifically that she doesn't want to do abuse scenes because she has previous trauma, and she doesn't want to be in a scene where she has to act out abuse. And I think her second or third scene that she was doing, it was an abuse scene. They didn't even care. Like, they don't give a shit. And the specificality of the scene was that, you know, she didn't have anyone there to like take her away from the filming studio, and they were pressuring her into doing this, and then she has to get therapy afterwards because it did wake up some old trauma, which is why she didn't want to be engaged in those types of scenes in the first place. Basically a lot of these things are very, very toxic and very abusive towards people who participate in it. So then you look at OnlyFans and you're like, okay, OnlyFans actually allows these women to have power over what they create, right? Like it's your OnlyFans. It's your site. You can be making exactly the type of porn that you are okay with. You wanna be doing like stupid cosplay shit? You can be doing stupid cosplay shit, you know what I mean? Like no one's pressuring you to do stupid cosplay shit. It's your OnlyFans. All the cash money from it goes directly to you. It doesn't go to your agent, so your agent is like pressuring you to do stuff. It goes to you. So if you pressure yourself, it's you pressuring yourself, but it's not someone from the outside exerting this pressure. So it feels good that it exists, but then on the same hand, I do remember seeing several videos of girls basically saying that they are I don't want to misinterpret it, but they were explaining how they can't wait to get to the legal age so they could start making these types of videos on OnlyFans. It feels like it has created this sort of a view where like it's seen as a I want to say almost positive work experience, and it's encouraging more very young girls to think about experience in the industry, and it's so predatory because of this. Specifically, like the girl in question whose stories I watched, she was really against. There's like a specific, I don't know the names, my dudes, I don't remember the names, okay, but like she had an open TikTok and you could follow her story and everything. And she was talking about this one specific porn actress who has a presence online, and what she does is she always flexes with like her car or with her apartments or whatever, and then girls apply to join her agency, and what happens is her agent is a piece of shit, so he also mistreats these girls. They make few movies, they feel horrible about themselves, they leave the industry, but the agent still makes cash money on these few movies. You still sign a contract. He still has the right to publish these movies. You did it, you made it. You as an actress, you get nothing out of it apart from trauma for the future. The agency gets a lot of cash, and the actress in question who is encouraging these young girls to get into the industry, she's getting a lot of cash. OnlyFans feels very similar. It feels very... I remember there was like talks about it being possibly a pyramid structure, because if you get someone to make an OnlyFans account, you can get a part of their earnings. So, yeah. Hey, I'm Mir. Oh, okay, that's fair. No free meals. Hey. If you care about status in others' eyes, you have no other choice. Like education and getting or starting a job. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think, like, even when it comes to caring about status, there's something... Because it creates the illusion. It's like with OnlyFans creators posting about, like, you know, how cool cars they have and everything. It creates the illusion that the drop in status can be overcome by the amount of cash money you're going to get from this endeavor, you know? It's like with Twitch, itself, right? You can go to certain categories of Twitch right now, which is, by the way, why Just Chatting has removed the ability for you to see, was it like the least viewed streams, I think. You can't, or was it the recently started? One category of Just Chatting on Twitch you couldn't access. You could access it on other categories, gaming and stuff like that. You couldn't access it on Twitch because people would go and they would prey on very young girls on Twitch in Just Chatting category. Because what they would be doing is they would see all the creators, they would see like Amaranth or whatever, showing the boobas around, right? And then they would try to make similar type of content, and then they would get a horde of like old creeps just stalking the shit out of them. Right, but you create this idea. That's what Amaranth does really well, and I don't blame the woman herself, because I do think she's rather open about the effects that doing this has had on her, and overall I think like she's GG, right? But when it comes to these types of creators, it like creates the idea that the offsetting status is going to be overcome by the amount of cash money you're making. So it's like, yeah, people are gonna think you're a slut, but you're gonna be a rich slut. Right? You're gonna be a rich slut, my dude. People are gonna look at you, they'll be like, oh, I've seen this ass getting pounded. Who cares? You're gonna wipe your tears off with cash money. Who cares, right? So they kind of encourage you to get into the industry by their flexing, and it just creates a situation where you have, like, if you go to chatting right now to like 0 view streams, you will have a bunch of girls there just with titties full out, because they think it's what's gonna work and it doesn't. Amaranth, part of stuff was pushed by her husband, part of stuff was not. She still does similar content, but from what I understand, she does it in a way that she is more comfortable doing it now. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's like the difference between having an OnlyFans and making porn for an agency. So the agent pushes you into something. I guess her husband was trying to take the role of an agent, and this didn't really have a good effect on her. Better than having an IRL stalker in the shop who wants to buy your phone. Hey, that's true. That is fucking true, I do. Oh, he's a slimy little fucker. You. 98% of Polish people are Russophobic. Poland is the most beautiful nation ever, okay? Yeah, no, Amaranth is amazing. Amaranth is amazing. I do like her as a person a lot. I think she has, at least like when I used to be following her, I wasn't following her for a while, to be honest. I watched one of her streams on Kick. After Topsen stopped streaming a few days ago. She was on some cosplay thing. Yeah, I don't know. Some shit. I did see that. Actually, I do think she's a brave person, because I do think it requires some sort of bravery to be in her shoes. I think she's playing the game really well. I think she's working hard. To be honest, I think she's genuinely working really, really hard. I remember there were times where she used to be streaming for like, was it more than 8 hours daily? That was wild. I remember her video with Nash, in which she explains like her plans for the future and everything, and how you know she has ideas on what to do with cash money, how to invest it and stuff like that, and she explains how much she's working and how much she actually, you know, tries to keep her content up to a certain level. It does require a lot of consistency to be at her position. I do think she's working hard. I also do think it requires bravery to be in her position, because, man, I don't know. Like, I watched her cosplay conference video. Dude, she was live streaming that. She just like has a camera on her and she walks around with her friends. Bro, if I was in her position, I would be shitting myself every single second of every single day, okay? And she's just like there. She's just existing around. She comes to these interviews. She speaks her mind. She had a really, really viral interview. Like, was it a year and a half ago with a dude, the curly hair dude? I don't know what his name is. But I think the interview was really, really good. I think she gave some really, really great takes. It does take some sort of strength to be a woman in a position where your content does rely heavily on your sexuality, but at the same time you do actually regularly come out and remind people that you are a person. I genuinely do think there's bravery included in it. Information age, how it's affected society. I think we're learning. That's what I'm seeing. I think we are learning. I think we're doing okay, but I think we are learning still how to deal with this effectively. So when it comes to good or bad, I want to say mostly good. I truly want to say mostly good. And I think our ways of controlling the bad portions are going to get better. I do have a lot of hope in that, in how we're going to be doing education and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm positive. I'm just positive.
That is half of the Moscow population, which is, what, over 8 million people, 9 million people. 35% of the respondents opposed cancelling the beginning of the operation. So another 35% don't even want to cancel it. Even after these drone attacks to Moscow, people are still supporting them.
I have a healthy amount of faith in governments, that's true.
Shows how little understanding the Western analysts have about the Russian mindset. And it also is a hit against me, because I'm also opening my eyes to this. It's not as black and white as I thought it would be. Among young people aged 18 to 26 years old, 47 hold such opinion. And 18 to 26 is military-age population of Russia, which might be sent to the front in the next mobilization that is coming in a few months. My prediction. And they wouldn't say no to a special military operation.
Thank you, USA!
This statistic
you are my best friend.
me and
you are the peacekeeper. You are the legend.
Quickly back to reality. That is the opinion and the support for Putin in Russia.
I think USA is doing acceptably, to be honest.
Perhaps it is even strengthened.
I just think you
now,
have.
My friends, let's go to the Black Sea. Let's call
I think a popular view in USA is to be questioning the institutions.
Exactly, southwest from Sevastopol. So it's pretty much in the middle of the Black Sea, in the center area. Ukrainian sea drones once again attacked the Russian Black Sea fleet.
20k new soldiers.
2 ships. One of the ships
I hope everyone's Ukraine sends to Russia 20k new
was the very
zipped
same ship
files.
that about a week ago stopped the Turkish merchant ship that ignored their warnings and warning shots. So the Vasily Pikov deployed a helicopter.
Oh no, is this gonna be speak English clip? Which clip is it gonna use?
And then let them go. So this very ship was attacked today. The Russian Ministry of Defense claims that these sea drones that Ukraine uses in this attack, that they were destroyed by weapons on board of these 2 ships. Now we don't have any pictures or videos of any kind of damage. It just remained to be seen if the drones connected to the hulls of the ship or they were indeed destroyed.
I don't think it's necessarily having too much, but we'll have to see.
To keep the Russian
so far they're holding on
edge, always ready and in a tense situation. Also, after the last time Vasily Pikov stopped the Turkish merchant ship, yesterday Turkey officially sent a warning to Russia saying that these actions are escalating tensions in the Black Sea, and they suggested Russia to avoid these actions in the future. These actions mean stopping Turkish merchant ships.
See, baby.
But Turkish warnings, as vague as it sounds, the yesterday's warning, is very serious, because let's go back to 2015. 2015. Both Russia and Turkey say that the Russian Su-24 and all-weather attack aircraft was shot down by Turkish F-16s in the Turkey-Syria border on the 24th of November. As you can see from this photo,
Russians don't want to be there, yeah. But also take into account each side's willingness to save lives of their own.
You can see a very short amount of time. And
because according to USA itself, Ukraine is operating slower than what USA thought it would during the counteroffensive, because it's trying to save as many lives as possible. And then you compare that to Russians and the fact that they are doing.
So
I don't think the numbers of mobilized are really the
and if you know this event, the
main
that Turkey sent yesterday, as vague as it was,
metric
Russians remember this incident
to base the predictions on right now. Well, I'm not really into making predictions, to be fair.
Protect their borders. So I think Russia will take this warning seriously. But my friends, now we go to the very far east of Russia and Japan, actually. The news comes from the Japanese island of Hokkaido and the Russian island of Sakhalin, and in between of those islands there's this waterway, and the reports came that Russian-Chinese combined fleet sailed through this waterway and they crossed into Japanese territorial waters. Why is this important?
Hey, thank you for joining, Loxa. Thank you. Hope you had fun.
Which is to
I hope life is good.
The force here of NATO, United States, South Korea, Japan, Australia, and Taiwan.
Australia.
Japan once held a claim to the Sakhalin Island. This huge island right here, it's big enough to be one of the Japanese home islands actually. Now Japan doesn't lay a claim to this island anymore, but what they do claim up until today, up until this very modern time, is the Kuril Islands. You can see the text right here. These small
Tiny
islands
ones.
that Russia is occupying right now, Japan still claims them, and it's
The
an
tiny
ongoing
ones.
dispute with Russia. So this Russian-Chinese
Size
combined
matters,
fleet
guys.
sailing
You heard
through
it here
Japanese
first.
Territorial waters definitely is testing the limits, testing the waters as it is, literally, of how Japan and the NATO presence in this vicinity would react. And of course, no country in NATO is known for reacting as strong as Turkey. Of course, Turkey is in NATO, but they have
Go
had
Turkey,
the biggest
go
and strongest
Turkey,
reactions
go
to
Turkey.
Russians. We cannot expect the similar reactions coming from Japan. My friends, now we go to the front lines, and I'll go
Turkey.
immediately to the northern eastern front where most of the fighting is happening, and Russia has conducted here a very large-scale offensive operation against Ukrainian lines, so much so that Ukraine had to deploy or redeploy their reserves into the area to hold the line. And actually Russian forces occupied some forest belts, forest strips south of Vilshana, this settlement right here, very close to the front lines. This where my cursor is, Sinkivka and Vilshana. In between of those settlements there are forest belts right here, and Russians occupied those. We're not talking about a big area, but a big enough to mention. Russians are pushing here with Storm Z units, which are prisoners, but they also are using armor like tanks,
Storm.
BMPs, infantry fighting vehicles. And this came as somewhat of a surprise to the local Ukrainian forces, who then asked reinforcements to be deployed into the area, which Ukraine has now done. But Russia is renewing their offensives every day, every morning, every night. Time will tell if Russian offensive will have any kind of success for them. As of now, the advancing is slow, but there is some. And I hate to report this, but there are significant Ukrainian casualties in the area. So much so that I cannot ignore them. You could say that the Kupiansk front for Russia right now is their main goal, the main offensive operation. Most of the resources go into this area, and also it's one of the areas that they have had minor successes in. But my friends, now I want to read you a joint statement, or some of it at least, of Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, the three Baltics, all of the prime ministers
we're not
of
building
those three
factories for the
countries
war?
have
Yeah, it's
signed
like-
this joint statement. I want to read you the third paragraph. Some of
I don't know, any
We
sort of
firmly
predictions
believe
just
that
seem
only
silly.
NATO membership will provide Ukraine with security guarantees and a credible deterrent needed to avert future
Like with the
aggression
amount of
by
new stuff
expansionist
Ukraine
Russia.
keeps on pushing
Ukraine's
out, I don't
NATO
think you can make
membership will
any
also
predictions about what they're going to be having
strengthen
in a
Europe
year or
and
so.
security and stability. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania joint agreement supports Ukrainian accession into
Based.
NATO. Talking about NATO, and actually when I'm proud about this latest development of this joint statement, what is more of a humiliation is the next news. It's a classic communication failure. The Chief of Staff to the NATO Secretary General
And they're talking about the dude.
Stoltenberg said this to his audience a few days ago. I think that a solution could be for Ukraine to give up territory and get NATO membership in return. This is his official wording. He said that this war can be ended if Ukraine swallows up the losses, cedes the territory that Russia has occupied right now to Russia, and then they will get the NATO membership for the future. Most countries in the NATO have said that they respect fully Ukrainian sovereign integrity, and they will support Ukraine until Ukraine achieves this sovereign integrity of the country. Which
This was a test, by the way. The whole thing with like, ha ha ha, miscommunication issue. No, this was a test. This was a test to see how we are going to react, and we reacted in very angry ways because, of course, we are going to react in very angry ways. But this was absolutely a test. I'm not buying the whole thing with like, oh, they got mistakenly understood differently. It's not what he really meant. He meant it. He meant it, and what he wanted. He was checking out what our reaction was going to be. He said, the way I've seen it, he said it as like one of the possibilities, but not a possibility that he's, what's the word, supportive of. But I do think it was mentioned, because I don't, the alternative is that he is, what's her name? Ursula level of blind when it comes to saying stuff in interviews. You remember that Ursula interview in which people asked her what she thinks about Meloni getting a place in Italian government, and she basically said that the European Union has a way to get rid of governments which break their rules. Like European Union is going to be able to basically sanction you if it needs to. And like in the interview, the way she said it, it made it seem like Meloni, if Meloni gets picked, Italy is going to get sanctioned, which is also how a lot of Italians got it, which is also why they had a huge ass campaign to get people to vote for her. And then she won. So I don't know how much input the campaign had on it, but I would agree it had some. I don't think that is the situation we are seeing here. I do think he mentioned it specifically because he wanted to test the waters. But also I don't fucking trust NATO at all. I think NATO is going to run away like a pussy, even in case Baltics get attacked right now. I think NATO wants to run away like a pussy. I think Eastern European countries in NATO would not allow it to do so, and this would create a bit of a conflict between the Easterners and the Westerners. But yeah, I genuinely think NATO is gonna run away like a pussy. I don't have much hope in NATO, my dude, when it comes to this. When it comes to like Article 5 being pushed, I don't have much hope in them. I do think that in case of Russia invaded Baltics, I think NATO is going to try to stay silent. I'm not positive on this. So I might be biased, but the way I've seen the interview here, the way I've understood it, I do think he specifically mentioned the idea. I know he didn't mention it as like the actual proposition by NATO. He mentioned it more like, oh, this is one of the possibilities? Theories maybe. I know he mentioned it like that. I think it was specifically mentioned like that to see how people are going to react. If the people were like, that's actually a great idea presented by NATO, he would have been like, yeah, let's talk about it to Ukraine. But no, it wasn't, so he won't. Poland is the only NATO country you can actually trust at this point. Just and only Poland. And like, of course, Baltics, but like if Baltics get attacked by Russia, it's going to be an interesting situation. Why did you join? There's a promise of peace that comes with it, and it has worked so far. And basically the thing is, Article 5, right? It's a real thing. It exists. It can be pushed, right? Russia doesn't know how NATO is going to react if one of Baltics presses for Article 5. Russia can't risk going to a war with NATO, because Russia in any way fighting NATO means that Russia is going to be annihilated in a few hours at most. They know they can't afford to do so, so they are choosing not to invade. They can't be 100% certain, just like I can't be 100% certain that NATO is going to fail. I can base my opinion on the fact that I am very, very pissed off about their current cowardly behavior. But I do think that just being in NATO, even if you don't have a lot of trust in NATO, just being in it still gives you safety, because Russia doesn't know how much it can trust NATO either. It doesn't know if NATO is going to react, or if NATO is going to do the Georgia thing with being like, oh, well, maybe the Baltics provoked the conflict. I'm just saying, maybe they were trying to genocide Russian speakers. I don't know, that's what I've heard somewhere. I'm just presenting it as one of possible theories. Yeah, NATO works as deterrent, yeah. True. They gave Russia time to dig in. And we're expecting Ukraine to surrender due to high casualties? Fuckers. But yeah, fuckers. Loophole, yeah. Like, I genuinely believe that when it comes to the rocket falling on Poland, I truly believe that was the case of NATO looking for a loophole. Absolutely 100% my theory on it is that the rocket was Russian and NATO was trying to find a way not to have to react. Hey, Mayor, how's life going? Heya. Now, Estonians are not gonna die soon because Russia is not gonna invade Estonia soon. Especially now when you have Finland. I think Russia is not gonna dare to invade. If Russia was planning to invade, yeah. Like, didn't NATO legit have a plan that if Russia invades Baltics, you don't actually go and fight them as they are invading, but like you prepare the troops and then you go and liberate the lands? Which, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't fucking work. They would be preparing to liberate the Baltics, and in half a year, Russia would be done with Russification. They would have done their ethnic cleansing, they would have imported new Russians there. In half a year, Russia would make sure that Baltics, or what's remaining of them, don't want NATO assistance anymore. It's an incredibly stupid plan that they had. Yeah, I don't trust NATO, my dude. Elon going to take away block button? What? Is it because his little pieces of shit are not earning money as much anymore, huh? Because I've seen a lot of moves these days from people to block accounts that annoy you, rather than going to bonk them in the comments. Like with Hinkle, for example. I've seen Nafo specifically calling out when it comes to Hinkle to block him, because whenever you comment on his posts, you're giving him more attention, you're giving him engagement, it gives him Twitter money. It gives him Twitter money. Whenever you go on Twitter and you fight with someone who's a very stupid person, but they are a very stupid public person, right? So they're on Elon's little handpick list. Whenever you go there, you're giving them cash money. You go to Hinkle, you call him a stupid-ass Russia dick sucker. You gave him money with that comment. You're paying for that man, okay? You're giving him cash so he can buy his girlfriend for one night more. So maybe don't do that. But I guess that's why Elon is thinking about fucking up everything. Eastern and Central Europe was supposed to be a meat shield. Yeah, I disagree with that. Meat shield. We're supposed to protect the glorious Germans and the glorious French. They were discussing scenarios. Yeah, I don't think the idea of Ukraine giving up territories for NATO membership, I don't think this scenario would have been seriously mentioned if not that either someone there actually believes in its possibility, or they were testing people's opinions on it. But I don't know what was the reason to, like, it's such a stupid idea. It's a horrible idea. It's appeasement to Russia. It is giving Russia a victory. You're saying, hey, at the same time we want to see both sides win, and you're not seeing both sides win. But you think you are, if you're a person who is not Ukrainian, who doesn't give too much of a shit about this. Like, I don't know what position they could have been coming from. But you're giving a victory to Russia, inherently, by giving them any sort of land. You give them like 1 single inch, you are giving them a victory. They will use this victory to go and butcher more people. And then also we have the issue of Medvedev, for example, immediately commenting on how he feels as if Ukraine would need to pick a new capital city if this plan actually goes through, because Medvedev is claiming Russian claims over Kyiv itself. So yeah. I am Blue Sky. I'm actually not. I'm actually not. Block is going to be deleted as a feature except for DMs. It makes no sense. What do you mean it makes no sense? But yeah, look dudes, I'm kind of just waiting for threads by Instagram, so... Belgorod? How's Belgorod doing? Isn't Belgorod doing okay-ish? What's happening in Belgorod? That also, though, giving Belgorod back would require Ukraine having some sort of actual control over Russian troops in Belgorod, which I'm not sure would happen. Neo-Nazi accounts that pay for blue and make cash money thanks to Elon. One of them being the dude who posted child pornography. And then his account got reinstated by Elon personally. So, yeah.
means also liberating Crimea, southern Ukraine, all of the areas since 1991. And this is why today NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg needed to apologize and clear up this
Yes.
this communication failure, that NATO will support Ukraine to the very end of this war and to the very end of Ukraine's achieved territorial integrity. And ceding some of Ukraine's territory into Russia is out of the table. Now, these communication failures are a big deal, and I need to report on them because Russia can take this information and spin it and reuse it for their internal country's consumption. Russian propaganda machine is very effective. This is food for the Russian propaganda machine because they don't even need to change much. They just take the Western headlines and Western media text, and in this case, they don't even change anything. They are saying, yeah, even NATO says that Ukraine needs to cede its territory to Russia. Everybody agrees. So these communication failures, they do happen, but the less the better. My friends, in this video we see Russian Storm Z units that have stolen some Ukrainian bicycles. How do I know that they're Storm Z units? Well, I don't actually, but looking at the outfits and the mannerism of the soldiers, they probably are Storm Z units, which are units of ex-convicts or convicts still, prisoners in Russia that were under Wagner, but they have been assimilated into the Russian Ministry of Defense after Wagner was sent away from Ukraine. They have stolen some bicycles. But what I want to also comment on is this guy's Kalashnikov and the magazines, actually. Look at also the gear. They don't really have much gear. All of their uniforms are different, and the gear, they mostly have Kalashnikov and a few magazines and bullets.
Illegal.
They don't seem to have much food or shovels or any kind of sleeping equipment. And look, this huge Kalashnikov banana magazine, I'm guessing this magazine is one magazine and then another one taped on top of it, so if you change the magazine you can just turn it around to the other side. The minus with this kind of design or this kind of taping your magazines together, I understand if you tape them together like two equal-sized magazines, but if you tape one to the very edge of the other one, if you're on the ground and have to shoot lying on your stomach, which happens all the time in every battle in war, then it's very difficult to shoot this weapon since the magazine is a banana magazine, a very long one.
Banana.
You cannot shoot it lying on your stomach because your weapon will be pointed upwards. So that's the minus
No,
part
I didn't
of it.
say Russia's
The
going
plus
to
part
invade.
of it is that you can really very fast change the magazine and
Thought you were
fire.
taking the place
But
of
it
that
doesn't seem to bother this guy.
2026
He's
person.
happy about his bicycle and
Humanity
other
gonna
four
be extinct by
Storm Z
2026.
soldiers here are also happy. Now this face here, I would also over-analyze it as a very drunken and hangover face, which means that the usage of alcohol is probably very rampant. I wouldn't say the usage of drugs, because they probably don't have drugs on the front line, but they definitely have vodka.
Can't we send
And they seem to be very
drones
happy
over
about
to
these
just drop
bicycles. A bicycle
some
in the military
shit
time
rakia
for
to
an
Russians?
infantryman is a gift. Really is, because you can really save your legs using a bicycle. My friends, here are the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense listed Russian losses of the past 24 hours, 18th of August 2023. Now I want to clear this up. I have gotten a lot of comments about why don't I read the Ukrainian losses. I would, my friends, but there is no official list about it. There are estimates. These are also estimates. They are not facts. They're estimates of Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. Russia doesn't give us a list like that. So I have nothing to balance this with, so I'm just reading this one. We have 460 liquidated Russian personnel, 3 tanks, 12 armored personnel vehicles, 24 artillery systems, 2 helicopters, which I mentioned yesterday, and in today's list, boom, here they are. 4 UAVs and 17 vehicles and fuel tanks and 10 special equipment. Overall, about the 7-day average of losses, yesterday they were higher. These losses are 1 day behind every time, so if some of the battles I'm reporting today, the losses will come tomorrow about this battle. My friends, I want to take this moment and thank the Patreons. These people have
How
supported
fucking
me
good
for
it is
4 to 5 years, some of them at least.
that we are
YouTube's a
destroying
very
so
not
many
stable
of
job.
their
You
helicopters.
never know if you're
How
gonna
good
get
is that?
used in it.
I've seen people analyzing that this means trouble for Russia because they're willing to send helicopters so close. Likely means that Ukrainians are making good advancements, and sending helicopters is supposed to slow them down. So I'm happy about that theory. Hey, wait, I'm saving the link. I don't know who John Sweeney is, but I do want to save the link. Holy shit, yeah, we could watch it. I wanna go through the linkies, but absolutely. I don't know who's the man. Can you introduce the man? Can you describe who the man is? That would be cool. Hey, also, I saved something else. I need to show it to you. Here's Here's a European Union neighbors east. You know, I usually use this site to get news on what European Union is doing to countries around it, right? So for example, we have news, and it's about, you know, what's happening in, where is this? Oh, it's just a summer course, fuck this. Georgia, and what's happening in Moldova, and then, you know, what's happening in all of the countries. Armenia is there too, in the last few news. Ukraine, of course it is. But it's about how European Union is helping all of these countries achieve their potential, and I think it's really, really good. And they made a video just today, and it's on Lukashenko. So I thought we might watch the Lukashenko thing, because I've learned yesterday that not many people know about Lukashenko enough, and I think it's interesting to know who this fucker is. Wait, Becca? Becca! Also saved the new No Fuckers video, and then I've saved the new analysis. And also I've saved something on Baltics. We could watch Baltics first. First we're gonna watch Baltics, okay? And then we switch. Oh, I know nothing about these. Ukraine. Osijek has nothing on this. Osijek has like one place where a bunch of Ukrainian refugees are invited to go to like preserve their culture and stuff like that, and that's it. We don't really have anything else.
City center. I couldn't believe my eyes. A destroyed Russian T-72 just sitting there as if this was a war zone. I had to remind myself that this wasn't Kiev or even Ukraine, but Riga, Latvia.
Riga!
Someone had the determination to deliver this 40-ton heap of scrap metal from a tiny Ukrainian village on the outskirts of Kiev, some 800 kilometers from the battle location. It's a clear sign of solidarity with the Ukrainian cause, and a little celebration for Ukraine's defiant achievement of holding on to its capital.
Yeah, so the
this
pictures.
Was the site of a
whole column.
demolished Soviet monument.
They had a column in Kiev too.
Torn down in a daring display of defiance. These occurrences are even more remarkable, considering that at least a quarter of Latvians are ethnically Russian. This conflict isn't just being waged in Ukraine, but also in the minds of the people who will have to live with its consequences. And that very much includes all the ex-Soviet countries and its people. I remember feeling intimidated by Riga when I was growing up, as Russian was the default language, but now, visiting the city some 20 years later, I've noticed a reversal. Latvian has become the default, and ethnic Russians, for the most part, are finally doing their best to learn the language. For the de-Russification of the Baltics and any ex-Soviet states has become a matter of self-defense. 3 decades ago, Putin expressed his dismay over the collapse of the Soviet Union, which he viewed as a geopolitical tragedy. However, his attempts to rebuild it and re-establish its cultural dominance have resulted in a disaster of his own creation. So what is the history that has led Russian to be so dominant in the Baltics? How has the war in Ukraine
I thought it was gonna be what led the Russian to be so dumb.
What I predict is the future for Latvia's Russians.
I need to clip that part.
Let's get something
So what is the history that makes Russian so dumb?
After finding out I'm from Latvia, that is, after
Eastern
asking
Estonia.
what
about
part of
Estonia
Russia it
overall?
is, and if we all speak Russian,
like
the
on a
next
country
assumption
basis,
that
how is it?
Latvian must be quite similar to Russian. While they do have some words in common, for the most part, they are entirely different. Latvian belongs to the Baltic branch of the Indo-European language family. It is closely related to Lithuanian and Old Prussian, and was first seen in print in the mid-16th century. It uses an extended version of the Latin alphabet, with some extra characters, which can really ruin the day of anyone trying to study the language.
No, they
Russian
can't.
is a Slavic language, which also belongs to the Indo-European language family, closely related to Ukrainian and Belarusian. The earliest written records of Russian date back to the 10th century. A key difference is that Russian uses Cyrillic, which also consists of 33 letters, and includes a few very unique characters. Basically, a Latvian and a Russian would not be able to communicate with one another without either one of them being at least somewhat familiar with the other's tongue. Not to mention that both languages are quite difficult to learn in their own right, a fact which has certainly shaped history. Since the early Middle Ages, the Baltic region has been a battleground for religious and cultural influence, first by the Vikings, and then more prominently by Germanic crusaders, who became known as the Teutonic Order, who were seeking to convert the local pagan population to Christianity, and who probably had the most influence on the development of Latvian. The Teutonic Order was eventually removed by the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and then Sweden showed up briefly, only in time to be challenged by none other than Peter the Great, and a coalition of European powers. So Russian history in the Baltics started in earnest in 1700, when the Great Northern War broke out. Russia officially emerged victorious in 1721, a large part of northern Latvia, including Riga and all of Estonia, becoming a part of the Russian Empire. Russian trade through Latvia began to flourish, and an active Russian merchant class began to settle there, with the first Russian school to be founded in 1789 in Riga. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth would also soon be partitioned for the third time, and this meant that it became a part of Russia a little later in 1795.
Not any
This, in
other
small
presidential
part,
candidate?
probably explains why Lithuania today has the smallest proportion of ethnic Russians amongst the Baltics.
On the issue of Russian
Interestingly,
invasion
while
on
Latvians began
Ukraine,
to replace Germans as the largest
which
ethnic group
candidate?
about
Oh shit, yeah, that one.
German
I
was
forgot
still
about
the
that one. That one's
official
very stupid.
language of administration
But which
until
candidate do you think is the best on
1891,
this?
when Russian was imposed as the official language.
Like,
in the
if you
Baltic
had a way to
provinces.
choose
Until
the
then,
president,
all records of birth,
and
marriage,
you would
and
choose
death
him
were kept in
only
German.
and specifically
By
based on
1897,
how
the
good he
population of
is
Riga
for
was
Ukraine.
made up of a large
Who would the
variety
president
of
be?
people. But the
Out of the
German
actual candidates,
population
right?
kept decreasing from 42.9% in 1867 to 23.8% in 1897, and
One
then to
sounds
just
like a dead frog.
13.5% in
Lots of Americans
1913.
sound like
The
dead
change
frogs.
in demographics was largely spurred on by the advent of the industrial era in Russia, which was very late and only started around the 1850s. But with it, Riga experienced a surge in growth and development, becoming one of the largest industrial cities of the Russian Empire. The population of the city grew exponentially, soaring from 170,000 in 1881 to almost 600,000 in 1913. By now, Riga was the third largest city in Russia after Moscow and St. Petersburg in terms of the number of industrial workers. In 1905, the Russian Revolution reached Latvia. Before the Latvians, who probably had little understanding of the consequences of what was about to happen, the main enemy was still the remaining Baltic German elite, who still held on to a large amount of wealth in the country. So during the revolution, both Russian and Latvian peasants banded together and captured small towns, burning down many manors that belonged to the Baltic German elite.
Cheering for Biden
so the
then.
revolution in Latvia was quite different from the one that occurred
Keep
in the
Biden
rest
in
of
power.
Russia. And at this point in time, they saw themselves
Until
as an
he reaches
important part of
1,000
the
years
Russian
of
Empire,
age.
hoping that the Russian
Which is gonna be
government
very
would
soon,
help
but
them
still.
overthrow the Baltic German elite and establish a more equitable society. But of course, Russia had changed. Bolshevism now threatened to swallow up nationalism, and thus became the new enemy. A new, more ethnic, strident nationalism emerged, with the goal of
Man,
driving
he's
both
been
German
living a
and
nice,
Russian
cozy
influences.
life of doing
It
politics.
did not, however, target the
Man's gonna
Latvian
outlive us
Russian
all,
population,
okay?
Nor did it target the
You know how
influx of
old people
Russians
usually
who
have back
fled to
pain, joint
Latvia
pain, every
after
pain imaginable?
1917.
Biden
In
has
1918,
nothing.
as the
He's been
Russian
sitting on
Empire
that fat
collapsed
little ass
and was
forever.
swallowed up by the inner turmoil of civil war. Latvia,
Look at
along with
this.
many other previously Russian republics, declared independence. Despite this, the Russian population
Slippers.
continued to grow. And
Slippers.
By 1935, there were
Slippers. Would you not be in fucking pain if every person you were surrounded with was an American? Come on, be real with me. Man wakes up in the morning immediately. Press. People are there, they're all Americans, okay? He goes to talk to people, he talks to Americans. Every single one of them, an American. Okay. It's like there's a calculation on how us Americans are from Frenchies. I agree with Russians. See, do you not have pain? Whenever you are surrounded by a lot of Russians, are you not surrounded by like internal pain on the inside? Because I know you are. Yeah, see? Same with Biden. You and Biden could be best friends.
Over 206,000 Russians living in the country,
You
making
could
up
bond
some
over it.
10.5% of the population.
You both
Many
suffer.
Latvians were already bilingual, while the Russian-speaking population tended to use Russian exclusively. At the time, there
Of
was
course.
little incentive for Russian speakers to learn. Russian was the language of power and prestige, and those who spoke it had better job opportunities and access to education. In addition, many Russians saw Latvia
fucking
as a
hell.
temporary home and did not plan to stay permanently.
Dylan
and were able to
disagrees.
send their children to
He thinks
Russian
NATO would
schools.
help.
In 1939,
I
the
think now
Soviet
with
Union
Finland,
and
maybe.
Nazi Germany signed the infamous
But I think they're gonna try to
Molotov-Ribbentrop
find a loophole. I think they're
which
pussies.
included a secret protocol dividing Eastern
They're pussies on
Europe.
Kosovo. Have you seen them on Kosovo?
Latvia, along with Estonia and Lithuania, fell into the Soviet.
On Kosovo, they talked about basically there were like 3 Serb officers who left their positions in Kosovo because they were pressured by Serbia, by fucking Belgrade. And all supposed allies of Kosovo have blamed, they commented on the situation without acknowledging who's guilty, because that is what they do, okay? They like cocksucking horrible politicians. They like doing it with Vucic, they like doing it with Dodik, they like doing it with Putin. I absolutely refuse to have trust in NATO when it comes to how they would respond in case Russia decides to invade any Eastern European NATO member. Like, I'm genuinely hoping that they would react. I'm just feeling like they would be like, Did you people not do something to provoke this? I'm just saying. Maybe this was an accidental Russian launch into your country. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to act certain. I mean, I'm just guessing. Maybe Russia actually felt like it was kind of evil of you people to ask citizens of your country to know the official language of your country. You know, maybe Russia was against it. Maybe Russia thinks that by their virtue of being better than everyone else, Russian language is the official state language of every country. So you trying to make their people learn another language, it was actually seen as, a genocide attempt. So Russia needed to go and invade. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying. So I don't trust them at all. If I wish, I hope I could be proven wrong, dude. I hope, okay, in a situation where Russia, I don't think they're going to invade, but in a horrible situation where they do actually dare to invade a NATO member, I hope that NATO is going to respond the second Russian soldiers step foot over the border. I'm hoping, but I don't have a lot of trust in them. She will probably be no different from Biden if he doesn't make it to the end of his term. Oh shit, that's a bleak, sad thing to talk about, holy shit. That was a sad little thing to say. Like, oh yeah, Biden's old as fuck, so he may not live enough to, see his term come to end. But, someone can continue. Just, ooh. But yeah, I see it. I see it. I don't know. Look, my hope for Biden is that he gets re-elected, okay? He gets re-elected. He is old as fuck. He's like, what, 2000 at this point? But, listen, the older you are, more likely it is you're gonna get dementia, right? Biden gets dementia in his brain. He switches back to 1999. There's an aggressor country existing in Europe. America must be the world police. I'm waiting for him to suggest we bomb Moscow. Okay, that's what I'm waiting for. May he stay president forever, so one day he can wake up in the morning and just be like, why didn't we nuke the fuckers already? And then he can just try to do it, and we're gonna have peace. GG. Russian presidential elections coming up too. Peskov said that Putin's gonna win. So, we already have predictions from Russians themselves. That's it. By the way, look at this video. Before we watch, no fuckers, look at this video. Hey yo, Rick, how's life going? Upscale area that has been hit 3 times by Ukrainian drones is being evacuated. This was posted 7 hours ago, by the way. This is not fresh news, okay? Drones headed towards Moscow was seen an hour ago, and they don't have air raid alarms. Kremlin is trying to prevent panic from breaking out. People are just chilling there, like, we may be getting hit. Also, there's something funny about the fact that, like, that they went, hey, there's drones flying straight towards Moscow. Where do we put our people to protect them? On the street. We put them on the street, out in the open. If there's a drone coming for your city, you have to go outside in the street, sit under the big blue sky and wait. Just hope nothing hits you. Hope there's so many people outside that they're going to hit someone else and not you. I could have the strength to wield the banhammer. If you so bequeath it to me, I will wield it. Hey, yo, godlike, how's life going? We've had half a troll today, okay? We're doing good so far. We had half a person attempting to troll, and then he said a lot of stupid shit, and he left. So we're doing fine. We're doing fine. I'm trying to keep the how do I say this? I'm trying to keep the illusion in chat that we do not have, you know, a police state present, and that you people have the freedom to say whatever you want. And I can't be giving out a lot of swords around for that reason, okay? If everyone has a sword, then people are going to be feeling like they're being controlled too much. You're having illusion of freedom right now. You're welcome.
About modern Russia, then you probably know that it's not exactly the most liberal country
Is
when
it
it comes
Tita
to
Way?
free speech. Oppositional media in Russia is often banned and censored. People who voice their opposing opinions are under risk of...
Why do the Baltic states hate Russians?
Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia have banned entry to Russian citizens on Schengen visas. Moreover, Lithuania proposed to extend such a ban in general to the entire European Union. Also, Latvia stopped issuing new residence permits, and obtaining a permanent residence permit requires proof of knowledge of the Latvian language. All these restrictions apply only to citizens of Belarus and Russia. So if you have a passport of these countries, and you are not ready to learn the language at the required level, you will get restrictions, and even cancellation of the documents. But why were they the first to ban Russian and Belarus citizens? As far back as during the reign of the Tsars in the Russian Empire, the Baltics were constantly being invaded by colonizers of this world. But we will begin our story with the times closer to the present day, which are the reason for the unfriendly attitude of the Baltics to the Russians.
Unfriendly,
we begin
he
our
goes?
study with 1918.
I thought it was hatred.
When the independent republics of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia were formed. This time is called the Interwar 20s. As you remember, the Nazis would soon establish a totalitarian dictatorship in Germany, and World War II would break out. The Baltic countries, of course, will be affected, at least for geographical reasons. If you're as bad at geography as I am, here's what it looks like on the map. Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and Poland being surrounded by the Nazis on the one hand, and the communists on the other, just purely for geographical reasons, are doomed to be dragged into a showdown between one of their neighbors, the Reds or the Blacks. No, of course they could say, and they said, that we want to be sovereign and neutral. But how could they counteract the brute physical force of the Reds or Blacks? Thus, in the 39th year, the Soviet Union received the right to
That was an
conduct troops in
interesting
these countries.
pause.
And in the 40th year, the Baltic countries became part of the USSR. And Baltics and Russians interpret this event differently. But here's the problem. If you look only at the Soviet-Russian version of those events, then this version does not give the cause of Russophobia. The Soviets interpret that hatred of the Baltics towards Russians appeared on the level of genetics, or the collective unconscious by itself. The Soviet-Russian version goes something like this. If you look at the map, Poland and the Baltics are potential bases for the Nazi threat. And this is not some ephemeral threat, but quite a real one. Hitler, on September 1st, 1939, has already unleashed the war.
What?
And further, as we all know, he will not stop once the war begins. The class conflict escalated in the Baltics, and supporters of cooperation with Germany appeared. The entry of the Soviet troops, and then joining the Soviet Union, was not unilateral, and happened by mutual agreement. It was a necessary and legitimate peaceful and natural conversion to communism, demanded by the locals. The Baltics did not lose their independence, and all actions were to protect against the Third Reich. Any other interpretation is perceived as a rewrite of true history. Very soon, on September 1st, Hitler will invade Poland and World War II will begin. As soon as the whole movement starts, the Baltic states immediately declared neutrality. But that won't save them. On September 24th, that is, not even a month has passed since the start of the war as the Estonian Foreign Ministry, a man with the surname Selter, arrived in Moscow to discuss economic issues of increasing trade between states. But Molotov, Commissar for Foreign Affairs of the USSR, had other plans. He wanted to place military bases on the territory of Estonia and other republics. There is a discussion between them which is worth listening to very carefully. Molotov: it is necessary to give the Soviet Union effective guarantees to strengthen its security. The political bureau of the Soviet Union Party decided to demand such guarantees from the government of Estonia, and to this end proposed to conclude a military alliance or treaties of mutual assistance, which at the same time would provide the Soviet Union with the right to have strongholds or bases for the fleet and aviation on the territory of Estonia. Selter: as for the question of the Pact of Mutual Assistance and military bases raised by you, I have no authority to discuss it. I can only say that these proposals run counter to the policy of equal relations of neutrality with all states, which Estonia, especially in recent years, has pursued so flawlessly. This policy is so ingrained in our country that Estonia does not want to. I'm sure of this, to abandon this policy and do not want to conclude a military alliance, even under the name of an assistance pact with a great power. In this case, the Soviet Union. Molotov: who doesn't want to? You don't want to. The ruling group doesn't want to, but broad circles in Estonia and the people want it. We know that.
Broad circles.
Don't be afraid. The Soviet Union's aid treaty poses no threat. We do not intend to affect neither your sovereignty nor the state structure. We are not going to impose communism on Estonia. We do not want to affect the economic system of Estonia. Estonia will retain its independence, its government, parliament, foreign and domestic policy, army, and economic system. We will not touch all this. If you do not wish to conclude mutual assistance pacts with us, then we will have to use other ways to guarantee our security. Maybe in more complex ways. I ask you to not compel us to use force against Estonia. That is, Selter came to Moscow to discuss the trade turnover. And then he was forced to discuss the introduction of troops into his country under the auspices of the Mutual Assistance Pact.
Should have gotten
Moreover,
Tito with
the
him.
representative of Estonia tried to request time for discussion with his team, but Molotov made it clear that delay was impossible. I emphasize once again, this is an urgent matter. The situation requires an urgent solution. We can't wait long.
Nicholas.
I advise you to meet the wishes of the Soviet Union in order to avoid the worst. Do not compel the Soviet Union to use force in order to achieve its goals, and do not pin your hopes on England and Germany. England is unable to do anything in the Baltic Sea, and Germany is bound by the war in the West. Now all hopes for external help would be illusionary. So you can be sure that the Soviet Union will ensure its security one way or another. If you had not agreed with our proposal, the Soviet Union would have carried out measures for its own security in a different way, at will and without the consent of Estonia. On such a friendly note, the equal conversation between the two partners ended. By the way, the trade agreement was never signed. It was decided to postpone it until the signing of the Mutual Assistance Pact. That is either all or nothing, as Molotov said. The issue is quite urgent. So the pact was signed very quickly. On September 24th, Estonia came to Moscow to discuss trade. And on September 28th, that is, just 4 days later, Estonia signed a pact that allowed Soviet troops to deploy military personnel in Estonia. After signing the act, Stalin amiably congratulated Selter. Then similar agreements were signed by the rest of the Baltic states. There are still discussions about the justified conduct of troops in the Baltic states. Some say that it was necessary to protect against Hitler, while others that the protection did not work. But we are to discuss the question of the voluntary deployment of Soviet bases on foreign territory. For example, the presidents of Poland, the Czech Republic, and Hungary conducted discussions with Clinton for several years to get them into NATO. Here, the conversations have a completely different tone. Moreover, in the book of Mikhail Meltyukov, PhD of Historical Sciences of the USSR, a case is described how in the 40th year a teacher, giving a lecture to 5th-year students, said that military pressure was put on Estonia. There was an ultimatum, and if Estonia did not agree, then occupation was inevitable for Estonia. Then the introduction of Soviet troops is compared, as if you let a friend into your apartment who first occupies one room, then seizes the entire apartment and kicks out the owner himself from it. After this lecture, the teacher was expelled from the Communist Party. The NKVD took up the case, and he was declared a foreign agent. But Lektor turned out to be right, because a few months after the entry of troops, the Baltic states will join the USSR despite Molotov's statement.
See.
Doctor of Historical Sciences.
He was correct.
Meltyukov Ivanovich very succinctly summarized the events of those times. The actions of the USSR in relation to the Baltic states, in contrast to the measures to annex other territories of Eastern Europe, which were considered the Soviet sphere of interest, provide an example of a complex multi-way combination. The fact that Germany recognized Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania as part of the Soviet interest zone, and the war in Europe allowed the USSR to impose mutual assistance treaties on these countries. These events gave Moscow a legal leverage of influence in the region, recognized by England and France as a lesser evil compared to the German occupation. Having taken the first step of sending their military troops to the Baltic states, the Soviet leadership defiantly did not interfere in the internal affairs of these countries, patiently waiting for its time. The defeat of France and the expulsion of the British Army from the continent opened the way for joining the Baltic states. The diplomatic conflict created by the USSR and the threat of a military invasion put the Baltic governments in front of a choice.
It's always Frenchies, have you noticed?
Capitulation. Given the hopelessness
it's
of
French and Germany, and then France and UK, but it's always France on something. It's always France on the bad side of history.
It was decided to capitulate, and the Soviet leadership will violate, thereby all their agreements with Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, introduce troops, and began a targeted Sovietization of the region. Thus, using the Anglo-French-German contradictions, the USSR managed to regain control over a strategically important region, strengthen its position in the Baltic Sea, and create a foothold against Germany. To be honest, it is very difficult to believe that just 1 year after the introduction of troops, the Baltic states changed their government just like that, and completely changed their ideology on their own. Well, even if you wouldn't know any of the facts from this video, voluntariness looks extremely implausible. The cherry on the cake is that in Estonia, until the 40th year, communism was banned at the legislative level. And then, not only did they cancel such a ban, but they also turned into communists themselves. Such changes, of course, are possible, but not as abrupt.
You can ban communism,
though. Happens gradually over years, if not decades.
Do we have communism
after
banned?
the introduction of the Red Army in the Baltic states, the situation began to escalate. The Soviet authorities
What sort of a rule is that? Can I now ban
communism?
communism? Can I demand government to ban communism?
And when
on a
Lithuania
state level?
wanted to investigate the case and interrogate the so-called victims, who, by the way, returned alive, Moscow somehow refused a detailed joint investigation. Then the Soviets accused Lithuania that the country was seeking to surrender into the hands of Germany, and the Fifth Column became more active. It all sounds familiar, isn't it?
Nice. He finishes on this. Nice.
Elections were held, in which the communists won in all 3 countries and decided to become part of the Soviet Union. And a year later, right before the start of the Great Soviet War, the Soviet government began a special operation to cleanse the population of the anti-Soviet, criminal, and socially dangerous element. Simply put, people were deported and sent to settlements and labor camps in Siberia and other places. They came to people's homes, read the accusations, and took them away. In 1 month, more than 40,000 local people were sent into exile. Moreover, it is believed that most of them were criminals. But they were not criminals. Using the assessment of the Human Rights Center of the Memorial, which the Soviets recognized as a foreign agent, an extremist organization, and later liquidated, there were only 10% of criminals. I would like to finish this part about voluntary entry into the Soviets with a quote from Mr. Molotov, according to which it is clear that the acquisition of the Baltic states was discussed and agreed upon in advance. Molotov said that,
"Ma'am," he goes, "I'd like to correct you on your stream title. Your title states Croatia, wherever you are. The issue lies in the wherever you are section. You see, where I am is God's great country, the United States of America, which has been scientifically proven to be better than everywhere else. If you could update the title with accurate information, we Americans would greatly appreciate it. Absolutely, my dude, immediately. I am updating it as we speak. Adding USA to the title.
Questions about the Baltic states, Western Ukraine, and Western Belarus were decided with Ribbentrop, who was a German politician and served as Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nazi Germany in 1939. The Germans were reluctant to agree that the Soviets would annex Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. A year later, in November 1940, I was in Berlin, and Hitler asked me, well, you can unite together Ukrainians and Belarusians, and even Moldavians together. This can still be explained, but how would you explain the Baltic states to the whole world? I told him we'll manage that. After all that the Baltic countries have expressed to the whole world.
Bro, Hitler himself was like, "Hey dude, aren't you doing a bit too much imperialism? Aren't you doing a bit too much? How do you think the world's gonna take this?" Man, oh, fucking ridiculous.
I told him we'll manage that. After all that the Baltic countries have experienced,
I need to find a link to that.
the
Holy shit.
imposition of mutual assistance pacts, the introduction of military troops, the change of government, and the joining the Soviet Union. All this time, these countries had the intention to break out not just from the USSR, but even from the orbit of influence
Bro,
of
that's
the
not very
Soviets.
cash money.
How do we know this? Well, it's just that these three countries were the first to raise a discussion about their sovereignty in the 88th. Moreover, they consider membership in the Soviet Union an occupation.
Wait, what does it say?
Moreover, they consider membership in the
Нет. Blockade? Blockade on Latvia? Blockade to Latvia? Litva? Is that Latvia? It's Litva. Litva is in Croatian. Is that Lithuania? Latvia. Litva. Oh, it's Lithuania. Litva is Lithuania, I think. Latvia. Fuck. The other one. Croatian has a stupid way to translate these. When I think about Baltics, I think about them in English only. Because like one of them, yeah, Litva is one. I think Litva is used for Lithuania. Croatian uses Latinx only. Ben Shapiro, he's Russian Jew. Can you imagine him on the front line? He would be so fucking annoying, my man. He might actually manage to like get some ground. People are just gonna see him in the distance go, nah, not Ben Shapiro. He had a whole stream on Barbie the movie. I haven't seen it. I wanted to watch his Barbie review because I've actually seen the movie and I liked the movie and I was interested in what that little dude's gonna say. But I clicked on one part. I think it talks about like fertility or whatever. It's referring to the pregnant Barbie. And it was so weird and I just clicked off and never went back. Yeah, Serbs use Cyrillics, yeah. Serbs do use it. It is Lithuania. I was correct. Vicky always based. Just a strike. I want a strike. Serbs use Cyrillics. Bosnians use whatever they want to use, basically. Slovenians use Latinx. Croatians use Latinx too. When we had Serbo-Croatian, you could use it both. Serbs also use like both. Serbs use Cyrillics and Latinx. If you go to Serbia, you will see writing in both ways. So yeah. Wait.
Soviet Union, an occupation. They enshrined it directly in 3 declarations.
Balkan versus Baltics? Wait, let me see the conclusion.
Estonia, the policy
to
of
then see
Stalin
why
during
we are
the period
better
of
than the
stagnation
Baltics.
ignored the principles of sovereignty and the prosperity of the Estonian nation. As a result, an unfavorable situation has developed. Further development is seen only in conditions of sovereignty. Lithuania. The sovereign state of Lithuania was forcibly and illegally annexed by the Soviet Union. Even today, the government of the USSR ignores the desire of the Republic for economic independence. Further development is seen only in conditions of sovereignty. Latvia. The ultimatum note of the Stalinist government of the USSR of that time, handed on June 16, 1940, to the government of the Latvian Republic demanding a change of government, and the armed aggression of the USSR on June 17, 1940, should be qualified as an international crime, the result of which was the occupation of Latvia. We recognize the return of the official name of the Latvian state, the Republic of Latvia, lost in the 40th year. At the same time, all declarations begin with the recollection that, in fact, for 20 years, we were independent before joining the USSR. But now we are not. Well, history repeats itself, and we can imagine how they relate to the Russian act of the special military operation in Ukraine, which started in 2022.
Yeah, fair. That was good. That was very, very, very good. I'm definitely gonna save this. Wait. I need to save the some of the quotes he had. Some of the stuff he had is very new to me, and I have to have it around. Are we ready? Are we ready for some actual educational content after having some fun hating on Russians? Let's go.
Baltic Relations.
I just love being Scandinavian.
Balkan Relations.
Oh.
Aglaï des tout Estonian Winter Essentials.
Pussy.
Guys, I bring to you the Balkan debate you always wanted to see.
Oh no.
The Balkan debate that Wałmał could never get his hands on. Average Bosnian versus Montenegrin debate.
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
I disagree with this video because it doesn't show Balkans as winners. We would beat some Baltic asses in a second, okay? We would beat Baltic asses in a second, okay? I love you people from the Baltics, but let's be real here. Let's be real here. Let's be honest with each other, okay? We would break you. We would fucking break you, okay? There's no question about it in my mind, okay? No question about it. If it comes to like another World War type of a situation where we are on different sides or something, you guys are fucked. You guys are fucked in the ass, okay? Even if we have just like mainly Montenegrins on our side sleeping around or whatever. Serbia is gonna betray us in a second. That's actually, I haven't thought about that. If a world war happens and the two leading sides are Balkans and Baltics, Serbia is going to be on the side of Baltic just because they are traitors, and because wherever they are on one side in a war, the side always loses. So it actually plays perfectly with my theory. Yeah, I'm fucking great. I'm correct. You consistently get them confused. I think it's normal. It's kind of funny when it happens to people who try to comment on politics, isn't it? It's kind of funny. Like it depends on how interested in them you are. And basically the main thing I have in my head is like Zach constantly mistaking Serbia for Siberia. And every time he makes a mistake about it, I'm like, bro, you're trying to talk about European politics. Why? How do these mistakes happen? How do these mistakes happen? It's not even like a translation issue, you know. It's an English dude speaking in English, an English speaker speaking English. You can't be making these types of mistakes, my man, my bro. What is this? Training of Ukrainian soldiers. Oh, hallo, ich bin ein Leopard.
Panzern des Typs Leopard 1 A5 ausgebildet. Die Ausbildung findet im Rahmen der EU-Mission zur militärischen Unterstützung der Ukraine statt. Für Männer und Frauen, die manchmal gerade erst die Grundausbildung durchlaufen haben.
Wenn Sie sich dann vor Augen führen, was diese Kameraden und Kameraden, die nicht professionelle Soldaten sind, oder nur ganz wenige von denen, hierher kommen und dann von null auf diesen Stand gebracht werden innerhalb weniger Wochen, das finde ich immer wieder beeindruckend.
Die Geheimhaltung steht hoch. Niemand soll zu erkennen sein. Jewgeni ist 32 Jahre alt, kommt aus der Ostukraine. In seinem zivilen Leben arbeitet er als Elektriker. Wie fühlt er sich, wenn er jetzt bald in den Krieg zurückgeht?
Man.
Ich hoffe, wir sind gut gerüstet. Wir haben hier eine gute Ausbildung bekommen. Nun sind wir bereit. Die Erfahrungen von hier werden uns helfen. Bis zu 6 Wochen dauert die Ausbildung der ukrainischen Soldatinnen und Soldaten hier am Stützpunkt. Insgesamt sind deutschlandweit schon 6.000 ausgebildet worden. 10.000 sollen es bis Ende des Jahres sein. Bei der Übung heute wurden 15 von 17 Zielen getroffen.
Nice.
Das sei eine sehr gute Quote.
Nice. Hallo, ich bin ein Leopard. Ich habe einen Ork kaputt gemacht. You'll just hit some mines and run off. No, they're actually gonna be great, okay? They're great. The training is great and they're going to be extremely well prepared, okay? I'm very, very positive on the training in European countries. I wish Croatia did some help when it comes to that, but we had our president being a piece of shit. So as far as I know, we're not really too involved. German guy in my class, and I keep trying to get him to swear in German, but he won't. Then I just know they have Scheiße, Scheiße, and that's it. I knew a sentence in German when I was in elementary school. It was like the first swear we learned in German. One kid basically learned it from like their older sibling working in Germany. And I don't even remember how it went. I'm trying to remember it now, but I know it was like, you have a lot of hair on your ass. That was the entire thing. You had like a bunch of kids in this classroom going around telling each other they have hairy asses. Schwein, holy shit. Oh, Arschloch, okay, that one. I know that one. I don't know the hairy ass one. It was like a sentence. It was a sentence itself, but I don't remember it. I'm not even sure if it was like properly said. But it stayed in my mind for a while after it. By the way, Nikokado is fucking Ukrainian? Is this the way I have to learn about it? Is this the way I have to learn about it, by getting a Discord thread on No Fuckers and his Russian imperialism? This is the way I have to learn this dude's Ukrainian? No one told me before. I expected this would be a piece of information that I would be getting regularly. How? Why? You had no idea, now you know. Yeah, he's apparently Ukrainian. I thought he was full-blown American. He's a perfect representation. You know when people mock Americans? You know what I mean? Come on. Perfect. You imagine an American. No, he's Ukrainian. He's been Ukrainian all this time. It crashed my view. I opened this before the stream, and for like a minute I was just... I imagine United States immediately. Nicholas Perry. What a loser ass name. He was later adopted to American parents and moved to Philadelphia, where he grew up. Ah, okay, fair. Born in Ukraine, but he was raised in USA, so he picked up on them. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. See how... This is such a tiny picture. Talking about tiny things. Have you guys seen the new Aiden drama? You guys know who Aiden is? Let me show you Vatnik soup on Aiden. I don't know if you followed it. But basically Aiden is a pro-Russian poster. What's his? I know he has dog as the profile picture. That's what I know about him. Okay, he looks ridiculous. He's a ridiculous looking man. But fuck, I'm trying to find him, because you need to see the pictures of this man to understand what the drama was. Can I just go? Oh, here he is, Scottson. Okay, his name is actually Scottson. This is him, right? This is him. You remember this dude, right? He has a Vatnik soup made on him. His Twitter account is Aiden something, I don't know, but he is basically one of the most popular Russian propagandists on Twitter. Now, when his identity was uncovered, when his identity was uncovered as part of Vatnik soup, people have went and looked into, what else he has been doing in his private life. And at one situation, basically, he was posting that he's like, I don't know, he's making some steak or whatever for his girlfriend. And someone made a comment which was like, oh, is this the only way for her to get some actual meat from you? Because he has several pictures of him like flexing his bodybuilding, and his dick looks tiny in some of them, like tiny. So people have been like screenshotting it and zooming it up to his dick and then being like, where is it? They've been bullying him for a very, very long time about this. Whenever he posts something, he's posting like, oh, Russia is getting great successes on the front line. And you go into the comments and all comments are like, tiny dick dude speaking. It was so funny. The only reason why I haven't blocked him was so I could go into the comment section and see people mocking his tiny dick. But the bullying got to the point where he has posted a dick pic yesterday to prove that his dick is not tiny. So yeah, he has previously offered to send a dick pic to people to prove that his dick is not tiny, but of course no one wants to see a dick of a Russian propagandist. Who the fuck cares? So when he figured no one cares enough about him to look at his dick and people just want to bully him, he posted it so we would have to see it. As far as I know, he deleted it after, but you can still find it. People have taken screenshots, so if you're in like these types of internet spaces, you will probably see it around. I just thought it was funny. Steroids shrink balls, not the Johnson. Okay, then he had no Johnson before, maybe. Look, it happens. It happens, okay? Never trust a guy named Aiden. True. True. I think this is the funniest picture ever, though. There's something... There's something about bodybuilders constantly looking like they're like 5 seconds away from shitting themselves. It's the funniest thing in the world. My man went through all this effort. You know how horrible the fucking diets are? The whole meal plan and everything, exercise plan that these people have to go through, lots of them die very young because they push their body through all of this, and then you come out just looking like that. It's not even like aesthetically pleasing, it just looks kind of silly. Just fucking sad, my dude. But yeah, I saved this on No Fuckers, so we're gonna watch this and then we will decide whether we want to go watch No Fuckers or not. But the casual imperialism of No Fuckers. Chapter 1 is casual appropriation. He made videos about Nikocado Avocado, who is born in Kherson, Ukraine, this one. And then he made, yeah, the Nikocado one, I wasn't like too surprised. I mean, I was surprised by Nikocado being Ukrainian in the first place, but I was like, you know, if you want to claim him as Russian, claim him as Russian. I have nothing against it. You want to claim the dude, claim the dude. But Verka, I don't know why he would say Verka is Russian. I may be mistaken on this. But that was pretty sure. Like that. Why? Why? The best part is you measure it in inches. Yeah. When you tell how many inches, to me it means nothing. It means nothing. You could tell me, hey Vicky, my dick is 200 inches, and I would be like, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know what inches are. It could be. It could be. You might as well be like, hey, my dick holds the what is it? The amount of blood comparable to the amount of blood in an average was it a rat or some little ratty being? Some little ratty being. But yeah, you can tell me that, and like I still have no fucking idea what the size of your dong is. I don't know what inches are. Ah, great. But yeah, that's the first one. Then we have chapter 2, whining, which is something that I was bitching about when it comes to no fuckers, so I'm glad someone else is seeing it. He left Russia a year ago, but still was too scared to talk about the war his country is waging. Like, part of me does understand it, though. Capybara? Holy shit. Okay, see that? I would understand your dick must be huge if you have the same amount of blood in it as one capybara has in itself, because capybaras are huge. Capybaras are huge. I'm pretty sure it was like a smaller being. But I don't know. I've got no idea. I'm not a dick scientist. I'm not too good at measuring the volume for schlong. Talking about volumes for schlong. Listen, we gotta talk about no fuckers, okay? Focus on my thread. Focus on my thread, because I've saved my thread. Because of you Discord losers, okay? So where did he move? To Georgia, because 20% of Georgia is under Russian occupation. And then he questioned why people hate Russians. A reminder that ordinary Russians look like. Thanks for your attention. He was kind of, though, he was kind of, does everyone hate Russians now? Bitching about this, but I do think he has gotten better ever since, to be honest. I don't know, I think there's a lot of strongly Russian filter Frank, what? Strongly negative opinions about no fuckers online. I don't think he deserves as much of criticism as he is getting. I think he's doing okay-ish. Like, especially lately, I think he was doing okay-ish. I don't know if at the start. I don't know how to say this. I do think he was absolutely avoiding the topic of war, and I do know that he has faced a lot of backlash for it. I know then he made a video about, facing backlash for it and how he feels about that. I think from that video he started alluding to his disapproval with the invasion more and more. I'm thinking he's acceptable at the point. I don't know how you people feel about him, but I feel like he's okay. I feel he's okay. Regulism, yeah, probably a good thing to say. Yeah. Is going to rain? Why? Really? We have 25 degrees here and you're having rain? Sweaty ass loser. That's fair. Yeah, flex on me. Thank you, Slippers. Thank you, I appreciate it. What's next? It's gonna drop below 15 degrees. Not anymore. Good luck, Slippers.
If you guys know a thing or two about modern Russia, then you probably know that it's not exactly the most liberal country when it comes to
I gave you a diamond. I gave you a diamond, you loser. I gave you a diamond and now you're flexing on me. I'm grateful. I'm taking it away. I'm making a poop badge just for you.
Probably think that this is only happening in Russia, or so to say, on the Russian side of the internet and Russian social media, etc.
Sweaty ass emote, that's what I'm gonna do.
Western social media in a way like this, and also delete the stuff that they don't like on platforms such as YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, or the extremist and abandoned Russia, Instagram, and Facebook. Well, guys,
Instagram.
what's going on? It is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian. And
wait, I have a question.
Guys, I'm about to ruin.
When it comes to threads, when it comes to Instagram threads, is that gonna be banned by Russia? Because they banned Instagram and Facebook both. Are they gonna ban threads? Like how does that work? How does that thing work? If I switch from Twitter and I go to use threads, I'm not gonna be seeing any Russians there. That actually feels rather good, to be honest. I'm kinda anticipating it being allowed in European Union a bit more now. Forget capybara dick, we got horse dick instead.
Exactly, because I'm here to tell you about how Russia actually
Horse dick, the dick expert. Can we get your assessment on Aiden's last dick pic?
Is still available. For example, YouTube, Twitter, and Reddit still work in Russia, as far as I know. However, the company Meta and its products, Facebook and Instagram, are now officially banned in Russia.
See, Meta is gone, so I guess Threads is gonna be gone, right? Which is gonna be great. You're gonna watch stream from the shower? How do you do that? For an English audience, saying Russia instead of Ukraine will get more views, but I don't think he did so after the war started. It's like how I'll do now, which is generally say Slav or Russian, because that's the format of the memes, but doesn't do that now. She's even gone back to doing Meanwhile in Russia reaction videos, but this time sarcastically, to show her side. Ah, okay. I see that. Like it was a good thing for the algorithm, so they were engaging in it because of the algorithm, but obviously now it has gotten a different attention on it and different meaning, so they don't do it anymore. That's okay, I think. Last time they banned Instagram and Facebook, half of their businesses stopped because they can't do proper banning. They will never ban YouTube, Instagram, X for real. Oh, damn. Threads is not blocked? Transportable small screen. I can also use it to make calls. You little bitch. I read the first sentence and I was like, wow, really? What do you have? What sort of a fancy device is it? Fucking evil. Just fucking evil. For a second there, I was legit impressed.
Also because Meta essentially allowed certain hate speech towards Russians and Russian soldiers on the platform, which is a discussion of its own entirely,
To be fair, like if they're going to be banning Instagram and Facebook for allowing hate speech against Russians, how the fuck is Twitter still allowed in Russia? Bro, Telegram? Bro, Telegram, there's a dude on Telegram with a whole channel which is just a compilation of Russians dying. Nah, I don't know. It doesn't really seem to be a ban that is enforced in a way it should be enforced, maybe. Because Musk is put like cocksucker. Okay, yeah, that's true. You mean X? Please do not use the T word around these parts. Does it make you feel nostalgia? I say Twitter and like one tear goes down your cheek. You're like, yeah, it used to be. I remember when I was young and I would tweet. Opposite compilations also there. Also, like both are allowed. So then you allow it. But like wasn't both allowed on Instagram and Facebook too? So then again we would reach like the situation in which they are the same, just one of them is banned and the other one isn't. Musk is just incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid. It takes a certain type of a person to be that rich and that fucking dumb. It's almost impressive when you look at him. It's almost impressive. Like I don't know how much you follow his, what he comments on Twitter and shit like that, but man, that's like a 13-year-old dumbass operating an old man's body. I long for the days of my youth, those long 2 months ago. Do you see it in like black and white filter when you think back about it? Even the most degenerate 80-year-old Vatniks started using VPNs. Banning anything in Russia doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, that's too. Rich parents. Maybe he's just next level. Nah, he's stupid. He's next level stupid. Man's fucking dumb. Man is fucking dumb, dude. The whole thing with like changing Twitter to X, I feel that was the most obvious show of his stupidity that one could get. How stupid was that rebrand? It was the dumbest fucking rebrand to do in history of rebrands. I don't know if there was ever any other rebrand that just shat on the entire product as this is. Never had Twitter account or browse Twitter. You're missing out on a lot of very, very cool things, to be honest. But also I understand it, because you're missing out on a lot of stupid people. So it evens out. This bitch cannot open PDF, and now she knows what VPN is because she can watch fucking cringe memes of her dying relatives. Holy shit. Holy shit. X seems like a minor thing to him compared to the rest of his companies. I would say that Instagram seems disproportionately important to him compared to the rest of the companies. I think it should be a minor thing. I don't think it is. Because I remember, what was it? Was it from Tesla that people were pissed off because Musk's actions were fucking up the company itself, because he was like tweeting bullshit so often. I don't follow Musk too much, I don't know the details. I remember that the problem was him tweeting bullshit. People are like, hey, we're gonna have to talk about our investments in the company because Musk is literally not doing anything but being a fucking edgelord on Twitter, and it's hurting everyone in the process. In Instagram it feels more sides are blocked because it feels more like both sides are blocked because it's not puppies falling content. That's true. Puppies falling or like boobs bouncing around. Can't trust Elon with brand designs or to win a boxing match, but you can count on him to get you to outer fucking space. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. But also, how much of the going to the outer fucking space is thanks to Elon himself? And how much of it is just thanks to the fact that he had enough money to start a company and then put smart people in it? Because from the way I understood it, he just kind of made a company where he could get people who know what they're doing, but he was not really one of those people who knows what they're doing. Peace proposal with the vision of land on a map, and when Ukraine's people told him to stay out of this, he, out of pettiness and spite, cancelled his satellite shipments to their army. Yeah, piece of shit. A little piece of shit. Musk's so cool, he built rocket, and now he's known for trying to bribe someone working for him to have sexual relations. What? Stoner, what? Stoner, would you like to elaborate on that? Huh? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, what is this? Switching to Estonian language education may infringe on the human rights of minorities? What? What? Grave concern regarding Estonia's plan to transfer the education system to Estonian language learning. We are very concerned that Estonia wants people to learn Estonian. Why do children in Estonia have to learn Estonian? Very confusing. Very confusing. As Elon Musk would say it, big if true. How the fuck is this discriminatory? How the fuck is this discriminatory? This has been done with the aim of offering all children, regardless of their mother tongue, the opportunity to acquire a high-quality education in Estonian, to create uniform opportunities on the labor market, and to increase the cohesion of society. Based. All of this is based. All of this is based. You know what I think we should do? Whenever UN tells you that they are concerned about something, what I think you should do is go and piss on them and then do the thing anyways. He may be a stoner, but he's high functioning, so I trust his judgment. But then you also trust his assessment of himself being high functioning, which, like, try to seduce a woman working for him by promising her horses. Oh man, oh man. I'm thinking if it would work, would she get like a place to hold them in? Where would she house the horses? How do you just get horses? Estonian language is horribly hard to learn, so a lot of brain breaking will have to go on. Good. Good. That's good. You have to earn the right to be an Estonian person and to finish education in Estonia. You have to earn the right to it by learning that hard fucking language. That's good. Not everyone can finish school in Estonia. Only the strongest people can. God's given his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers and shit like that, okay? Yeah, when you're a kid, it's easy. That's true also. But I think UN is full of shit here. I think UN is full of shit, especially like because they're like especially concerned about Russian speaking minority. That by itself makes me go, shut the fuck up. So I don't think we should be listening to them. And also, I don't know, like from the start of this, I still don't understand this whole problem with making kids in your country learn the official country language. I'm still not understanding it. People have mentioned it previously for like Ukraine, that it was problematic for them, the fact that Ukraine is making it mandatory for kids to get education in Ukrainian. How is that a problem? How the fuck is that a problem? I'm not seeing it. I don't know if we come from some inherently different perspectives on this. I'm not fucking seeing it. Oh, thank you, JJ Abrams. Thank you. No worries, my dude. No worries, my dude. We must keep on talking about this as long as it keeps on going on. A lot of efforts. We just talked about the current fundraiser to collect, was it ponchos? For Ukrainian snipers. But we rely on fundraising and we rely on, the support. Look at this. I mean, I gave some cash money, but look at this. I helped buy this for one sniper. Ukrainians rely a lot on fundraising and on popular support, and also on us bullying our governments into helping. So we must keep on talking about this. If we get bored, that's it. That's it. Like Russia is an immensely strong enemy. They have been preparing for this for quite a long time. I think it should be our duty to help Ukraine as much as possible. I still feel like I easily pick up languages. Yeah, same. Same, my man, same. There's a part of me which is like, yeah, if I go to a foreign country, I could just like learn a language in half a year, no problem. I could be an expert. And I really couldn't. I'm fucking lying to myself, my dude. You learned by immersion with listening and reading. Duolingo and textbooks always was used as garbage. Hey! I've been immersing in Japanese last 3 years for 6 to 8 hours per day and got on level where I can watch anything on Japanese. Yeah, it's like same here for Korean. When I was in elementary and part of high school, I used to be trying to learn Korean. I learned the writing system. So that actually I had to like power through, and Duolingo didn't have Korean at the time, but I added it later. So it was a great tool to practice writing, to remember like how to write stuff, right? But when it comes to vocabulary, when it comes to sentence structure, when it comes to pronunciation, when it comes to understanding what people are saying, you would definitely be better if you were, for example, I was following news and I was following TV shows. And it's a much better way. I think you're talking about Japanese. I think you're talking about Japanese and not Korean. But it's a much better way, and you learn the language much faster than you would with like Duolingo, because Duolingo really didn't help me almost at all. But listening to people actually speak, even if it's like in some sort of, I want to say, non-learning environment, right? For example, like I watch some comedy shows, for example, and then like you just pick up on the words. You have English translation, so you know what they're saying, and you pick up on words and how they're used and how they're pronounced and stuff like that, and it helps, right? And it's not like you're actively learning. I feel like I picked up a lot of words from watching dramas, for example, and it's also like, it's not like I'm actively learning, I'm just chilling, but still you pick up on stuff, and it's a much faster way to get the language. And when you are in a foreign country, this is, I guess, even easier. At least it was for me, like in Germany, right? You go to a store, everyone speaks German. You go to a coffee shop, everyone speaks German. You're out on the street, everyone's speaking German, right? So you pick up on words very easily because you just hear them all the time using casual conversation. And it's the easiest way to learn. Duolingo and stuff is fun, but I wouldn't use it primarily. I would focus on getting immersed in language. I don't see a problem for kids, but is there any alternative for older students? I feel like they would be switching the education with like starting to teach them Estonian in that way. Like you get classes next to your usual class. That's kind of how we did the thing here with Hungarians, right? Hungarian speaking population. So they get like extra classes next to their usual classes, and then they can switch when they know enough. So 95% of people who want to learn Korean are BTS fans. Yeah, I was a BTS fan from 2013. Okay, I was the OG. Show some respect. Okay, so listen to things where they speak slower and very clearly. Hey, cartoons, yeah, cartoons, that's a great piece of advice too. Cartoons are great if you want to be learning a new language. Imagine living in a country and not understanding a language after a year. Yeah, like the worst thing is that it's such a weird conversation now to be bitching about the whole thing with like languages. Didn't we all bully foreigners who come live in our countries and refuse to learn the language? Just like in every other conversation. Why is it different when it comes to Russians? Because I swear to God, I've seen so many situations. I've seen TikToks where people were like, oh, look at this. This is like an American person. And they moved, for example, to Germany and they refused to learn German. They've been here for 3 years. They refused to learn German. And everyone in the comments was clowning on this loser for coming to live in Germany and refusing to learn German. Which, it's a good reaction, by the way. You need to clown on these people, right? If you come live in a country, learn the fucking language of the country. But why was it okay to mock these people all of this time? And now suddenly when they're Russian speakers, they're supposed to be like, yeah, you know, Estonian is actually a really hard language. It's actually a really, really hard language, so I don't know. Bro. Why most Russians, Estonians don't want to learn a language? I feel like when it comes to, you know, the official language of the country, you need to know the official language of the country. I don't really think it should be up to question. You should know the official language. Like the whole thing with yeah, they can just go just go to Russia. Are you in Germany? No, I used to be in Germany. I'm not in Germany anymore. I am in Croatia. They've been given time, but still nothing. Yeah, it's like no one asked us if we wanted to learn Russian. Oh, fucking based. Okay, fucking based. Yeah, true. I feel that's like That's that. That's that end of the entire fucking conversation of this. Yeah, true, absolutely.
But basically, Russia got pretty mad at that and banned Instagram and Facebook. And in another video on this channel, Ray actually talked before how Russia has been trying to create awful social media replacements for these platforms, creating this sort of awful Instagram copy.
Rosgram?
Rosgram, Russian Instagram essentially, and that never really went anywhere. There's also certain replacements for YouTube that are being pushed right now by Russia. For example, the Russian website Rutube.
I've got a German, yeah.
Yes, very original name. As well as VK Video, which is actually...
I don't know if I would say fluent. But I'm good. I understand it. I refuse to speak it, to be completely honest. But I can understand German. I'm GG with German. Though what helped was that I was watching German TV shows when I was a kid, watching German cartoons and stuff like that. So I did have previous exposure to the language. It's not like I went to Germany without knowing the language at all. But yeah. I'm GG with German, to be honest. I just kind of... There's a part of me which, for some reason, doesn't really like it, and I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Dumbass is live. Which one? Which one?
Created by Russia's biggest social network of Kontakte, or VK. So now what they're doing is that VK Video was actually paying Russian YouTubers to do exclusive content on their platform.
I was watching One Piece in German.
But that being said, guys, small side note, due to the nature of my content and how it's very political, I actually don't get a lot of sponsors either.
Oh no, I
so
refuse to speak it now. I was speaking it when I was there.
Go over down to link in the description.
Like I was going to.
It's like essentially
I worked.
It's the best way to support me.
I was working, so I was working in, let's say, retail, like help in retail, basically. But I was speaking German then. Now I don't really like speaking German. But when I was in Germany, yeah, of course, I had to speak it. I was preferring English, so when it came to like friends, I was preferring to have a conversation in English, especially if they were, you know, foreigners. It felt like easier to have a conversation in English than to switch to like my German and then their German, and then it was a combination of like two people barely knowing German. But yeah, no, when it came to like just business or, you know, usual like sorting out paperwork, for example, shit like that, yeah, we were speaking in German. But even Germans don't. Yeah, who the fuck knows? A bandman who doesn't like Russians. You mean the man? I hear he has 133 IQ. I've heard from some sources. Yeah, Germans don't like speaking German, okay? That is why they are allowing so many immigrants to come to Germany. You heard it here first. The reason why so many Balkan people are in Germany is because Germany actually wants to shift to speaking Balkan. Germany wants to shift to speaking Serbo-Croatian because it is the superior language when compared to German. So they are inviting us to come there so we would occupy more of the land and then introduce our language to more of their people. I'm just saying, it's not a conspiracy.
Okay, e-begging is over. Let's move
okay,
on
keep
to
up
the video.
space.
And since we're talking about the bans of social media in Russia, the main government
we're keeping
of
kebabs.
Russia that does all of this is
we also say
known
kebab,
as
so you don't even have to switch the
which is a
wording.
Soviet-style abbreviation that basically translates to the Federal Service for Supervision of Communications, Information Technology, and Mass Media. Clearly sounds like a very noble profession, but yes, Roskomnadzor is essentially the main governmental organ that is concerned with blocking and deleting information that is considered wrong in this or that other way, according to the Russian law and according to the Russian government.
It's coffee.
And, I gotta say, these guys are pretty much universally hated.
It's coffee, I'm just kind of tired.
Or at least the young
I
people,
worked a lot
guess.
today.
And this is where it gets interesting, actually, is because Roskomnadzor is essentially a part of the
I was
government, so
kind of
Russia
sleeping
has the power to actually take down content
before starting
from
the stream.
YouTube
I was
and
like
other
sitting in
Western
this chair and I
social
was like,
media. And if you guys think that maybe now, since, you know, everybody's kind of severing their ties with Russia and stuff, they no longer
I feel like
have
I'm
that
going to
power,
go to
well,
sleep
guess what, guys?
very
They
soon.
do. Now, to go into the history of Roskomnadzor and YouTube a little bit, Roskomnadzor essentially started first blocking stuff on YouTube around the year 2014 or so, and by that I mean, of course, blocking the territory of the Russian Federation. However, a lot of what we're gonna be talking about goes further than that. But actually, I remember back in the day, one of the first things that Roskomnadzor bans on YouTube was actually Dumb Ways to Die, which is incredible, guys. And I've actually talked about this in a video many years ago, so
And the first thing they did when this whole thing was established is they banned Dumb Ways to Die. Yes, Dumb Ways to Die. You know that Australian subway viral video that was supposed
They
to
felt
raise
called out.
awareness for people to be more careful on metro?
They were like,
that
this
was
is
banned in
anti-Russian.
Russia for quote-unquote propaganda.
It's retail. It's retail.
Good job right here,
I'm
guys.
currently
That solved all Russia's problems, right?
It's aged pretty well. And the thing
I'm a
is,
replacement.
Roskomnadzor and Google
I'm
and
basically
YouTube and
doing a
Russia actually
favor.
have a long
I used to be
story
doing
of going back and
translations.
forth with lawsuits and fines of all sorts of types.
And
It
that
was
was going
so
really
bad
well.
that actually the
And
Russian
now
official
then I
office
needed
of
to get
Google
into.
filed for bankruptcy in Russia
It's
because
a
they're simply
family
not
thing,
able to
but
pay
basically
all
I'm
these
working retail
fines
right
that the
now,
Russian
and I'm not
government has
happy.
put on them. And essentially right now they're in a bit of a weird state.
suffering.
I don't even know what's going on
I've got
legally. And actually Roskomnadzor fining
540 days left approximately.
Not just with YouTube.
I wish I
example,
was
just a
selling
few days
F-16s to
ago,
Ukraine.
A Moscow court officially fined Reddit for 2 million rubles for essentially posting fake information about the special military operation. So and refusing to remove it, of course. However, this is pretty much where we get into the most messed up part, right? In certain cases,
Depends.
this content that is being blocked does not just get banned on the
Depends
territory
if they're
of
the
Russia,
fun
so
ones
that
or not.
Russians cannot
If they're
see
the
it.
boring
It
ones,
actually
then
gets
I
banned
don't like
off
to
the
talk about
platform
it.
completely. So essentially what's happened recently, just a week ago, is that Apple Podcasts, which is Apple's official platform for podcasts, thank you guys, very insightful commentary, I know, has deleted 2 very prominent podcasts from Russian oppositional media from their platform, according to the request of Roskomnadzor.
No, it's
These 2
I'm
media were
replacing a
Horde
woman
and
who is on
Meduza. Horde is a little bit less known,
maternity
but it's a
leave.
that covers, you know, everything
And
going on
maternity
in
leave
Russia. And
is
Meduza a
the
pretty
entirety of
well-known
her
media at this
pregnancy,
point. Just like Horde,
plus
they publish in English
a
and
year
Russian as
after she
well.
gives
They're
birth,
banned in Russia, considered
which
foreign
counts
agents, all
to
that
approximately
classic good stuff,
600
So
days
essentially,
total.
both of these media created by Russians that actually oppose the government, they had their own podcasts on the Apple platform, and essentially both of them got a message from Apple saying that, according to the Russian law, Roskomnadzor is asking us to take down your podcast from our platform, so I'm sorry, but you will have to do it.
Bro.
Now, apparently what happened to Meduza's podcast, it
Don't give her
actually got
ideas.
reinstated on Apple's platform 2 days later, but still, yeah, honestly very worrying. And one thing, right, that I do find ironic, very ironic, is that Apple officially left Russia.
When it comes to gamer girls, the way I figured it, the way I see it is gamer girls get into politics. It's like a start. When they talk about feminism in gaming, it's usually a start for most of them. If there is a gamer girl who doesn't like conversations about politics, she usually isn't one of those who are going to be able to comment on like the issues of, for example, women representation in professional gaming or whatever. So that's it's interesting because I know a lot of locals. For a while I was really into like gaming circles locally. And it was interesting to like notice the differences. Like you have people who are just like, oh, I'm just gaming to have some fun. I'm just gaming to have some fun and run away from the world. Those are the boring ones. But then you have people who are like, oh yeah, I'm actually just gaming for fun. But also, I'm able to give you a really insightful commentary on specific, like for example, plot lines or whatever in games. Those ones are usually into politics, and those ones are really fun to talk to. Who is hosting a conference to discuss how to integrate fake medicine? Oh, shit, I saw their Twitter post on it. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how they comment on it. I'm actually kind of wondering, because they made a Twitter post, and the Twitter post said that, how do I say this? It said that a lot of these things are indigenous knowledge, and they weren't. They're doing the thing that Wicca is doing. Okay, for me, like Wicca is the first religion that I've noticed doing this thing. People will make up some bullshit and then they claim that it's knowledge from all the cultures. Wicca was one of those things. Wicca is a religion, right? It was made up fairly recently. It was made up recently, but people pretended that it is older than what it is because they pretended it's like the collection of knowledge of previous cultures. It was basically a Frankenstein of different cultures that they all pushed into one, right? And a lot of things about the... How did they call it in the health organization's post? They had a word for this. For like non-traditional means of medicine. No, traditional. They called it traditional means of medicine, right? It's very similar to that. Like several medicine that they mentioned in the post, they mentioned it's like indigenous forms of knowledge. They mentioned traditions. It has nothing to do with that because these are all very recent things. They were made up recently, and then people claimed that this is knowledge from older cultures, but it isn't. To give them this sort of a little plus when you, like, as an internationally acclaimed organization, when you call them indigenous knowledge and they are not, I feel like that's quite a mistake. So I don't know. Change it to traditional medicine. It is supported by modern science and has been proven to work, aka normal medicine. Yeah, a lot of people have no idea the fact they're talking about when it comes to this. And it feels like that sentence is a show of that. Like they were trying to be like, oh guys, we're not actually talking about like the fake medicine. We're talking about real medicine, basically. We're just trying to word it differently to appeal to a different audience. But we're talking about exactly the same fucking thing, my dude. What's traditional medicine in Taiwan? Why would they start to sweat? I want to know.
Russia, right? Which was a big move, right? So yeah, Apple is standing with Ukraine and all that, but also what they do is that they take down podcasts created by pro-Ukraine media, oppositional media that opposes the Russian government. They take down their shit from their platform. So I do find that really interesting. You know, it's kind of like Spotify
fair.
Let's say, you know, how Spotify also left Russia essentially, and you can't even get premium in Russia officially. However, Spotify will still allow Z artists who literally propaganda, such as Shaman, for example, to literally just put out their music on their platform.
Shaman
and,
is on Spotify?
On Spotify, Shaman, you know, you can listen to it all. You've got it all. And of course, he's getting monetized. Of course, he's making money from it. But I would say they have the same
Shaman
approach as,
is
know,
on
a lot
Spotify?
of companies and even governments do these days to Russians.
I had no idea about this.
Essentially, they don't like you and they don't want you to, you know, live in their country or use their services if you're Russian, except if you're rich or powerful, you know. In that case, it's fine. And look, I understand that to some degree this is probably an automated process, and Apple did correct their mistake as far as Medusa goes, but still. Why is this happening in the first place if you're like actually taking a stand? Shouldn't you be not complying with these decisions then? Consistency, that's what we want. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But also another story that I saw recently, which is again pretty messed up in my opinion, is something that happened to a Russian, or should I say maybe Russian-speaking YouTuber, Anton S. This is a YouTuber whose content I'm fleetingly aware of. He basically talks about celebrity gossip in Russia and like the post-Soviet space, as well as politics as well. And actually, he's a guy who runs his channel in Russian, but is actually not even a Russian citizen and doesn't even live in Russia. And he's also openly part of the LGBT community, which is something that, if you guys don't know, is a no-no in Russia these days, because Russia has recently passed laws on banning gay propaganda. And here's what happened. Essentially, quite recently, just a week ago or so, Anton S. has received certain emails from YouTube essentially stating that Roskomnadzor has decided that a few of his videos do not comply with Russia's information policy and the Russian laws and everything. So you need to essentially delete this content, or the regulator will essentially be forced to block it. And the videos that they essentially found problematic was a vlog.
No, Scarda
6 years
thinks
ago
Russia is GG with gay
48,000
people.
views, which is quite interesting. And also another video he did, which is more popular, which is actually his coming out video. Pretty obviously, these claims, these you know, attempts to block these videos come from these new laws of Russia outlawing essentially gay propaganda. And yeah, I mean, I do think it's a little bit ridiculous. I want to just give Anton himself a chance to comment.
As far as I know, they are getting their some money. They shouldn't be getting it though.
На устройство туалетов, я не знаю, сколько там, 30% России ходят в дырку. Туда у нас деньги не идут. У нас идут деньги на просмотр сотен тысяч видосиков на ютубчике. И если какой-то видосик, а каждый мой второй видосик является гей-пропагандой в глазах Российской Федерации, в глазах российского законодательства, да? Вот здесь мы высылаем предупреждение ютубу, чтобы он удалил контент блогера, который не живет в России, который не является гражданином России, который не живет под юрисдикцией российского законодательства. То есть вы серьезно, ребят?
No, Skada has been doing a thing where he had several conversations on his stream recently with people who are anti-Russian. Which now, I support you hating on fuckers. I feel like you need to think before you say stuff though, right? So he has had several conversations with anti-Russian fuckers who have not been able to explain their reasoning to be anti-Russian. And what you do is you create a laughable impression of the entirety of your ideology, which is, you know, like his chatters are growing more and more, I want to say, sure, in their defending of Russia. Because recently, for example, he had someone in chat who was claiming that Russia hates gay people, and Skada was like, oh, how do you know this? How do you know this? Can you prove that like Russia hates gay people? How do you know this? Do you have some laws or something you could cite? And the person didn't know a single law to cite. And it made them look stupid, but then also, you know, like his chat was like, oh yeah, everyone always hates Russia. Russia didn't do anything. They hate Russia for these vague reasons, but they can't even point out why. Dumbasses, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you want to go to Skada's to have a debate with him, make sure that you know something about the topic you're trying to approach, okay? This will be the first video of how a Russian mother came to her captive son in Ukraine. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm interested in that. Nice. I hope it's going to be translated to English. I went to his channel today. He has a lot of videos which are not translated. I was looking for the specific one on... there's supposed to be a documentary he made on a group of Ukrainian young people who are trying to restore areas that Russia has destroyed. I was looking for that documentary and then I just kind of lost it because I was trying to translate the names of all of his videos. Not all are involved with the war. Some just want to play games and live their lives. Yeah, I don't think you should be allowed to do that on a on Twitch as a platform, and I don't think you should be allowed to get Twitch money as long as you're a person in Russia paying taxes to the Russian state. I don't think that should be allowed. I don't think Twitch should give you a cent. I think the second sanctions were applied to Russia, I think Twitch should have just stopped giving money to Russians. The fact Twitch is paying them is ridiculous to me. People like Grisha were using it to try and fund the Russian military. That is unacceptable. You have Russians using Twitch to get money to donate to Russia. This should not be allowed. They should have all been banned immediately. They're not against gay people, but against the LGBT community that they consider a lobby fueled by their enemies. I see that. I see that. But like still, if you write a law banning LGBT expression, for example, how would you separate gay people from the LGBT community in that sort of a way? Like, do you not want the gay people to be expressing themselves at all? Guy was walking with his friend hand in hand and got bullied on the street. Second part of the video was the same guy, but buffed as fuck. Muscle bull? What the fuck? No bullies at all. They should not be allowed to just live normally and chill when the country is invading their neighborhood. Yeah, that's true. Like, no. No, I just want to play games to relax. Bitch, you shouldn't be relaxing. You should not be fucking relaxing. You should be aware of what your country is doing every single second. It's like when they have representation on any sort of a international event, you know? Every single Russian existing on any form of a platform is inherently representing a genocidal country. every single one of them. They must be aware of this every second that they exist on any sort of a platform, okay? Stuff like Navalny family coming to Oscars just to drink some champagne and to walk around in pretty dresses. This should not be normalized. They must be aware what they are representing, and they must be fighting against it every single second. That's it. It's not hating not liking what their politicians are doing. It's not about not liking what their politicians are doing. It's about the fact that they, as a nation, are approving of Putin's actions. They approve of his actions. Speak to them. Go and talk to some of them. Just have a conversation with some of them and you will hear it. Have a talk with them. Ask them how they think this war should end. Because I have seen several of them who even are claiming that they are against the war and they just want to be using Twitch. It was a big conversation when PayPal got banned in Russia. Was it PayPal being banned? PayPal transfers to Russia? I know, basically Twitch streamers from Russia were getting paid and then they couldn't get this money, right? And at the time, a lot of them went bitching on Twitter. I used to be following one of them. She was playing Mass Effect often. I used to be following her, and she made entire posts bitching about this and about how she shouldn't be made to comment on the situation because she doesn't care about politics. That is the problem. That is the problem. You can't be allowing yourself to not care about politics in a situation where your country is butchering your neighbor. This should not be normalized. This should not be allowed. I'm absolutely okay with them not getting a single cent until they have to come face to face with bullshit they have been allowing all these years. If Skade doesn't own the topic and it's clear that he loses, he suspends and bans. Oh shit. Oh, that too. I haven't really been. I don't really watch him. So I just know what people are chatting, and I just know that recently a big point in his chat has been that people have been coming to him saying that Russia doesn't like gay people, and every single time he goes, show me a law to prove this, and they don't. Because they don't know of any laws. So if you're going to be trying to fight him, just have some links. It's easy, my dude, it's easy, okay? Just have some links prepared. Just Google while you chat. You can be gay as fuck in Russia if you can send random gopnik into the next week by a single punch. Only strong people can be gay. Not interested in politics, but politics fucks them all. Yeah, that too.
Not at all, pretty much. And I'll be pissed as well, to be honest. Now, as far as I understand, right, when it comes to these YouTube claims, YouTube apparently will not actually delete his videos from the platform. He's not gonna get like a copyright strike, but his video will be essentially blocked in Russia. Which, once again, you could say that I guess it's good that at least his video is not gonna be fully blocked and deleted from YouTube, and his channel is not gonna have any ramifications, right? And that the video is just gonna be banned in Russia. However, that's already kind of messed up, isn't it? I mean, theoretically, though, the implications of this are actually pretty bad, because for a lot of Russians, YouTube is one of their main ways of consuming information that's different from propaganda. And if you just go around blocking all these videos in Russia, then that access to information will be cut. YouTube sort of prides itself as a free platform, and I understand that YouTube has to comply with individual laws of the countries that it's officially in, but like, YouTube officially is not really in Russia anymore, you know, as well. They've kind of
It's because we love
but
America.
Yeah, YouTube, for example, has explicitly said that they will be actually hunting down Russian propaganda on YouTube and, you know, essentially deleting content that glorifies or, you know, promotes what's happening in Ukraine right now. But also at the same time, not only is there a shit ton of Russian propaganda on YouTube, I mean, I'm talking about, you know,
what's that?
Interview channels that get millions of views where it's essentially only Z takes.
What's that
I'm also talking about stuff that I've literally
nickname for Americans?
To in my videos. If you guys remember this Z Weston video I did recently where I reacted to this English guy promoting Russian video.
Remember this one?
Actually uploaded on a channel that was created by the
Yankee phobia. Could you call it Yankee phobia?
The main governing organs of Russia.
Yankee phobia. I feel that could work.
Russian propaganda created by Russia, completely up and fine on YouTube.
No?
However, YouTube at the
Come
same time
on, it sounds better.
these requests
Sounds better.
and like threaten YouTubers with blocking their content
Yankee phobia.
for essentially not complying with laws of Russia. And I believe in the
Proud
first place,
Yankee
right,
phobe.
if this guy makes his content in Russian, for mainly Russian-speaking audience, mainly in Russia probably, his videos potentially being banned from Russian YouTube would actually damage his career and his, you know, his life a lot.
What's the other word? It was like Russophobia and Russomisia. Yankee-misia? I don't know, that sounds bad. Yankee-phobia. You don't? Yankee-phobe?
I'm treated as a security threat to any bank in the world or too many
We need a
countries
new
in the
nickname
world
for
are
them.
also treated
Something
like
that
a
fits.
potential security threats off the basis of my citizenship. However, at the same time, the governmental organs that are literally following the orders of Putin, they still have a say in what gets deleted or what stays up on YouTube. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. But basically, the thing is that all
Obviously,
the
I'm
tools
having
that
some
the Russian
ideas.
government has been using to silence people on Western social
I'm gonna have
media,
to try
they are
test them.
still in use today, and they still work today. And these Western social media will still comply with it, which is I find
What is the
quite
USA
interesting,
stereotype?
you know?
Hamburgers?
Maybe this is out of left field, but also like I do like how also Shaman, for example, all these Z artists.
McDonald's.
Once again, I did say that they're up on Spotify,
McPhobia.
etc. You can listen to it now if you want.
McPhobia.
But also, what I do find funny is that the DMCA, the copyright detection, still works fine with these artists as well. You know, for example, if I would like to
Fix
actually
it.
make a reaction to one of Shaman's songs on his channel, I would get copyright claim for using his music, which is
Fat phobia is already taken.
And from a YouTube standpoint, from how it
Already
plays,
taken
then
by fat
it's
people.
logical, I guess. However, once again,
They're
I do
leaving
find
nothing
it
for
kind of
Americans.
funny and ironic. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys did learn something new from this video, I guess. Because
Thank
I'm
you
pretty
for
sure that a
talking,
lot of
Roman. I
listeners
have to
actually
leave
not
now, but
aware
thank
of
you
that.
very much for having this conversation. I gotta run. I gotta run. Bro, I'm supposed to be going straight to Dobson. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he has the username?
But
He has the
I don't know,
username?
you know? They kind of get dirty and stuff, and it's like
No, he's not banned. He has the username. It was going to Dobson map.
glass mouse pads. Doesn't Razer have a glass mouse pad? I feel like
Huh?
it's such a fucking scam. I don't feel like your hand laying on
When
top
you're
of it
talking
is
about
just, like, gonna
protests on
be
both sides against the war in Yugoslavia,
very comfy.
which sides do you mean?
Imagine getting banned from Kick. I didn't get banned, you dumbass. I got my name back.
Muslim was immediately going to bully the man. Not his mom's account, nah. Not his mommy's account.
15-year-old
I lost access to it.
ultimate. What does that mean? What does that mean? Breathe.
But yeah, I don't know, because I tried to look. I'm actually like interested.
Just started bragging
Because
15 years after.
I think it was a few months ago, my man. I tried to look into whether Serbs did any anti-war protest when crumbling of Yugoslavia was happening, and I couldn't find a single one.
Am I out of the Twitch?
Like
prison
that's
yet?
why
Not
I'm
yet.
asking genuinely. I wanted to do a
It
stream
may take some time.
on like comparisons
Don't
between
hold your
Serbs
breath,
and
okay?
Russians and how Serbs
would say
reacted
let's
to
just
them
move on
invading
and,
Croatia
think
versus how Russians reacted to their invading of
I just
Ukraine.
got my original
And I
name
couldn't
on
find
Kick. So,
Serbs doing anything to stop
know,
the
might as
invasions
well
at
stick
all.
with Kick for now.
So, yeah. There were anti-Milosevic protests happening, like 90... Was it 96, 97, if I'm not mistaken? 97, 98, something like that. Really, really big
My
anti-Milosevic
last
protest
resort
2000, but yeah, that was that.
Is this email that I
Overwatch 2 it's a shit game that no one asked for and no one needed. People were disappointed. As far as I understand, they also were promised something that they never got. But I wasn't really playing Overwatch for a while. No one asked for it though. No one asked for that change. They could have just kept Overwatch as it was. And we would all be good, right? We would all be GG. And for some reason they just... Yeah, no. Fucked it up. No one was hyped about it. I remember when they announced Overwatch 2, no one was hyped about it. No one was happy about it. Everyone I've seen was pissed off about them switching it.
Twitch has this
So, I don't know.
email, a special email address where you
Oh yeah, but
can
like I've never
send a
seen Serbs
report
protesting against the war
about off-platform
or doing anti-war
horrible
actions. But for me,
of their streamers. It's what I did to
Let me silence this dude a little bit. Here's the situation for me, okay? When we talk about responsibility for something like this, when we talk about who's gonna have to pay reparations, right? When we talk about how this should be treated by Hague, when we talk about what we can learn from this, I support blaming the entire nation. I would say that it's important to blame the entire fucking nation. Now, when it comes to Russia, the conversation can be about what's the difference? What sort of like difference do people have? There's like two words, and I keep on wanting to remember which one is which to use them, and I always forget. But there's like a word for Russians as like ethnic Russians, and there's a word for Russians as like people in the country of Russia, a broader concept, right? So like one would refer to, I don't know, Moscows, and the other would refer to just everyone in Russia, so counting in Tuvans and Buryats and everyone, for example, right? When we talk about responsibility, you could separate along that basis. So you could be like, okay, Buryats are not equally as responsible as Moscows are. You could do that, because I think we all are aware where the power in Russia is concentrated, right? But I mostly have the opinion it is not our job, not our responsibility to look for good Russians. And they have done nothing to protest against the situation. They have done nothing to actually stop it. The resistance in Russia is minimal. It does exist in tiny numbers. On the scale of a whole country, it's nothing. When you look at how many of them volunteered to go and fight, how many of them crowdfund to help the Russian military, how many of them go to other European countries and then bully Ukrainians and post Z symbols around and post Wagner stickers around.
It could be. I'm not betting on it. You know.
I'm not really seeing a reason to look for good Russians in the pile of shit, basically. Hey, yeah, sir. I'm actually leaving. We're going to Topsen. I'm leaving. I have to go. We just tried to have one last conversation on me being hateful overall. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Adjective versus noun. Yeah, like that. I always forget it. I want to learn which one is which, because I think it's an important distinction to make, right? Like, you wouldn't, for example, you wouldn't claim Tuvans have the same amount of responsibility for Moscows, right? Because one of them actually has the power to change the situation, and the other one is just like fucking poor and doesn't get shit. So it's, I understand that difference, but I do think it's, I don't know if important is the right word. I think it's important to understand the responsibility of a nation when it comes to this, though. Short is Nazi, long is citizenship. Nice, thank you. I might actually remember that. But yeah, how to be going. So, posting link to Topsen.
And then the other thing is, I would just like to see if
posting link. If you wanna go and watch him, Topsen is Ukrainian. He is debunking propaganda about the war, so really good person to follow. I'll be seeing you on Monday, by the way, next stream Monday. I'm also hoping to manage to get a bunch of new news. So be hyped for me, okay? Be hyped for me. I have actually gotten back to writing on Patreon sometimes. So I'm hoping to be able to keep the habit going and to actually be productive, okay? Cheer for me, let's go. Go Vicky. See you Monday.